Good evening, one and all. It's Friday, it's the end of the working week, and today we have got some more spaceships. Specifically this spaceship right here. This interesting little fella is what is hopefully going to be the focus of today's stream. But welcome in everyone, hope you're doing well where you are around the world. Esprit, that is an interesting bit of introspection you've got there for yourself. Interesting bit of introspection. Fair enough. All the same, welcome in everyone. Now, as the Discord announcement, as the stream title might suggest, this ship here is a little bit different. See, rather than classical EVE Online ships where they might have laser beams or drones or missiles or good old projectiles like some kind of AX-52 slapped to the side of a rust bucket, this one appears to be a little bit more wizard. This one does need to be a little bit more wizard. I think the best way to demonstrate that is to head on out and find somewhere to do a little bit of wizardry. No faffing around because I've got a long queue. Parts of the stream are intentionally blurred out. But yes, in fact we can start our little bit of wizardry right here. Excellent, that is what I wanted. That is good news, I didn't even plan that. Seemed rather excited about Zap Zap Lightning Gun on Discord. Oh yes. Oh yes indeed. So we're going to head on over to our first bit of Zappy Zappy. And when I arrive, and hopefully arrive with no other players around, you will get to observe and enjoy the Zappy Zappy in all of its glory. Also this ship realigns itself as you travel. So it warps around in a V shape. And then when we come out of warp, it'll slowly transform into a, I guess, more of an X-Wing? Kind of, sort of. Anyway, I'm going to lock up one target. There are 4 here. It's really bright. Let me zoom around this way. Those targets, we got 2 structures and 2 ships. There are now, those 2 ships are dead. And this is about to get very, very bright because I am chain lightning everything in the area. This is what it does. This is what this ship does. Zappy zappy boom. It fires a chain lightning gun out the side of the ship. And when I say chain lightning, I mean quite literally chain lightning, as you just saw that. Yeah, it's the Amprex in space. It is the Amprex in space. It doesn't care if we're shooting ship or structure. It bounces between them and just goes a little bit wild. How much does that ship run me and how long does it take to get there? So the ship itself and all the fittings is somewhere in the region of 750 million. Ship and fittings, around about that ballpark. Maybe slightly more. The ammo on it cost me about 11,000 every single time I hit the fire button. Which is not cheap for ammo. But considering it can hit multiple things at once, ain't so bad. This entire site is already complete. Everything is just smoke and wreck. All gone. So we're just going to leave that behind now. Because it didn't actually give me what I was looking for. What I'm hoping for has a roughly 10% chance of dropping from each of these sites. So, we are going to go on a bit of a bear hunt. Head on over to the next location of where it could be in hiding. As for how long it takes to get this ship, it's got an entirely unique skill tree. So, as much as it uses normal capacitor stuff, normal shield stuff, its gunnery is entirely unique, and its ship queue is entirely unique. So it is a lot of skill points. I think I wanted the ship, and I had over 1 million skill points lying around, and I went, you know what, sod it. These skill points are there to be used for fun. And so I sank most of the skill points needed, and trained up the few days for basically getting the dots on the eyes. The majority of it I sank the skill points into because I wanted the ship. To see if it even did what I wanted it to do, and turns out it does. As you see that everything just continues to evaporate around me. As lightning chains off around the ship. And I sit here with my shield sat at 98%. This way through the second site. No ticket here today, so handy. This is not a Warframe stream, so there is no Warframe giveaway. Not today. This is a Variety Friday stream. Yeah, shit. Like, wah. Here to explode things. Yes, that's definitely what that ship's saying right now. And that is everything in this system wiped out. All of it. So I'm going to start traveling now towards where a whole bunch more of these sites spawn. Just leave all of that mess behind. Don't need any of that. There is very occasionally going to be something in their value in those wrecks. Rarely, and it's not worth bouncing between them to find out. It's really not. I am looking for more concentrated loot. Been ages since playing. Which class is this one? Class, this is a wizard. Oh, sorry. Class of ship size. It's a cruiser. It's a cruiser. This one in particular is called the Stormbringer. I think you can see why it's called Stormbringer. Or if you can't see why, don't worry. Soon enough I'll show you again. We're just going to pass through the second busiest system in the entire game. Don't mind me. There is not a command for that, Airspring, no. No. What would a Ken command even do? Honestly, no idea. I think Kenergy is just the fill-in for that. Oh, Andrew, that command's not supposed to work at the moment. Interesting. I thought I had it set up that that command could only activate during a Warframe stream. Interesting. Oh well. You're a Triglavian fan? Fair do. Unfortunately, Trig ships don't really fill the role I need them to do here. Trig ships just... They're too single target. They're too single target. It doesn't matter if it's Warframe or EVE Online. The difference between single target and AoE continues to matter. So for all their shiny, they don't shine in the way I need them to. Because this thing, in optimal conditions, puts out, let me see here, 2,500 DPS. Oh, you're blur where you are and your path. Oh, right, I blur. Sorry, I thought you meant blue for a moment. I was like, why is the E there? Yes, I blurred my location. It's not going to do much to save me if someone does want to utterly ruin my day, but it reduces the chance that someone decides to actually make that happen. It just makes it a little bit harder for them to figure out where I'm going to be next. Hold up, stop ship. Ah, feck. Alright. We'll just do a quick little turnaround in a moment. Ah, nothing to select. Well, sounds like it has an E on the end. I will take your word for that. I'll take your word for that. Alright. Just say no to stream sniping? Yeah, it's EVE Online. As much as it's against the rules, that doesn't work. It is easier to protect yourself than it is to try and get things resolved after the fact. Concord teaches us this. Is there a delay? There is not a delay. No. No, I'm right here with you right now. Well, there will be a delay. That delay is going to be on the lines of how long it takes for your message to send across the internet, get to me, I read it, respond to it, and then that gets sent back across the internet to you, transcoded 5 million times. But aside from that, there's no delay. Okay, there it is. God, I couldn't see it in the bloody smoke. There we are. I'm going to target not even a ship this time. Not even a threatening target. I'm going to target the observation post itself. And you can see the ships near to it. And I'm a little bit too far away. Whoops. That happens sometimes. Let me fix that real quick. Really quick as the ships are moving. Come on. Shit, that ship got out of range. Well, that's annoying. There he goes. Yep. Alright then. And now a new one has appeared down there. And it is dead. Yeah, TKDM, you can only see where I am one jump at a time. That's the point. And now we got the chain effect going. And gone. Let's check our loot. Nothing. Yeah.
Warp drive active.
So we fly off again. Yeah, TK, as much as you can see where I am one jump at a time, that doesn't give someone enough information. It doesn't give you a lot. And again, a reminder that stream sniping is actually against the rules, both of this stream, of Twitch, and of Evil Line. So someone who does attempt that is basically wanting their entire account nuked. Basically. What is Evil Line? Game looks good. Evil Line is a massive multiplayer, always online, sandbox, hard mode MMO. What makes it hard mode is that PvP is always enabled at all times. If you are anywhere other than docked in a station or offline, you are available for PvP. Even in a station, there is elements of PvP in people trying to undercut your market orders, trying to do things better than you. Right now, if someone wanted to blow up my ship, they could be waiting where I'm traveling to, and as soon as I arrive there, just obliterate me. However, the circumstances are set up that they would need to put in such exorbitant cost to make that happen. They're not likely to do it. It wouldn't be reasonable for them to attempt it. But in other parts of space, there'd be almost no cost at all, which is why I am not there. There I would instantly die. If someone see a shiny ship and not a lot of way for it to defend itself, and they would wreck it. This is a very specialized setup I have here right now. Also, lots of explosions happening. Lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of explosions. Yep. You could use that flashbang emote a lot today. Can you get it on console? No, it's a PC game. It is strictly a PC game. There is some weird thing called Eve Echoes, but it's not the same. Alright, well, that load of explosions led to, once again, unfortunately, Bupkis. So we'll move to the next one. What's my favourite faction / pirate faction? To face the Serpentis. Favourite ship to fly out of the factions? I don't really have a huge favourite there, I'll be quite honest with you. Possibly Sancha, but yeah. I'm not huge on them in general, partly because they're just so damn expensive for what they achieve. They are exceedingly expensive, they've gotten more expensive. Is this game like WoW? In the sense that there are many players, yes. In every other sense, no. Oh, damn it, just out of range again. Sometimes I land on the right side of this rather than the left side, and it puts me just out of range to get started. It's mildly annoying. Yeah, so this game is basically Wild West in so many ways, including that basically everything as far as scamming, ransoming, backstabbing, all completely allowed. All completely. Like Freelancer? I don't know enough about Freelancer to answer that, sorry. As we say, my biggest question is how the explosions are making noise in space, or is it simulated noise for the pilot? It's canonically camera drones. It is all simulated. In order for the capsuleer, you, the player, to be able to respond to the circumstances, have these overlays and whatnot, it is actually canonically some kind of camera drone neural relay giving you the information and simulating sound to ensure that you have a greater understanding as to what is happening. There ain't sound in space. But that doesn't mean you can't add it in post.
Warp drive active.
It's explained in the tutorial? I imagine it is. Eve having a tutorial. Still surprising to me, considering what it was when I started. Hi, welcome to the game. You've had a basic couple of steps. You can fly your ship now. Alright, good luck. There's some dudes like 4 jumps that way you might want to speak to. Otherwise, figure out what a ship is. That was an entrance. That was an entrance. Essentially your favourite to fight because they're probably amongst the most evil. I mean, valid. Sanctions are evil. Straight up. Like, they go well beyond slavery into levels that just... Even the Orokin were like, damn, I should be taking notes. I think the Orokin and Sanchez would get along amazingly if not for the fact that they would hate each other for not being each other. There's the only reason the Orokin Empire and the Sancha Nation would not get along is because they aren't the same faction. Otherwise, they are so damn similar. You've flown all 3 of their main lines? Oh, all 3? All 3, you say? 3? Oh, someone's already on this site. I'm going to let him have it. Partly because I've seen another site that spawned, so I'll just go to that one instead.
Warp drive active.
Not sure why he is turning to leave. His site is still... Do I still play Warframe? Yes. I was on Warframe yesterday, today, the day before yesterday, streaming it on Wednesday. I'll be streaming it on Sunday. Why is this guy giving up on the site he was running to come here? I literally left him to finish his site, whatever. Choose all you like, mate. You abandoned your site to come to this one? Now it's kosher, it's my site. Feck off, I'm faster than you. He's shooting one thing, I'm shooting all of the things. Kind of slightly outclasses him. Turn your ship and leave, mate. Turn your ship and leave. He's not turning his ship and leaving. This guy's being a little bit weird. I'm really not sure why he's still here. He's got a low chance of getting the reward of this site. It's most likely going to be assigned to me. Like, almost certainly is going to be awarded to me. But he's challenging it. Did they change Edoncom tax to not hail the pilots? Unless certain circumstances are met, pretty much yes. Which is why I'm able to do this right next to him. Well, I need that. Yes! It's mine. The kill credit goes to me, bitch. Shit, he's going for it. He's going for it. Whew! I don't know what I looted, but I looted it before he could. Okay, what did I get? Shit all. God damn it. Yeah, you run. You run, you little runt. I have this one. I have this one. Alright. Surprisingly lucky. They appear in like 1 in 10, maybe 1 in 15 sites. What's my main activity in Eve? Whatever I feel like doing, to be honest. Today, I want to shoot lightning. Other days, I will go exploring. Other days, I might just see if I can piss someone off in low sec. Other days, I will be running tail between legs because I've ended up in the middle of goon space, like a moron. Should have shot him down, couldn't do so legally. Couldn't do so legally. Yeah, he tried to steal my loot, and the thing is, if he stole the loot, he wouldn't get concorded. he would instead become a legal target for me to shoot, and there is absolutely no chance that I wanted to shoot him. Because if he made it where he could be shot, then there's a good chance he knows how he's doing it to avoid dying. I'm not going to put this ship at risk over a little bit of an ego challenge like that. Instead, it is better for me to beat him to the loot and not have to worry anyway. I don't think he expected me to be as fast moving as I was. I've done enough of these sites to know the signs to look out for to keep myself safe. At least 99% of the time. Yeah, a tactical destroyer like that. Whew, Tech 3 ship. I know mine's shiny, but it ain't that shiny. That would be bad juju. I don't think I got anything special there. Doop, doop, doop. Off we pop. The other sites in this area, not interesting. None of them have what I need. Yeah, the loot I got from that ship that I did take out, the shiny one, it dropped a tag worth Bupkis, some ammo worth slightly more than Bupkis, some ammo worth a surprising amount actually, 500,000, but still comparatively Bupkis, and shielded hardware worth Bupkis, but they have a chance of dropping a lot more. They have a chance of dropping a hell of a lot more. In fact, I sold... Oh wow, that's gone up. I sold some recently that I got hold of. Let me see here. Oh nice, Vigilant sold. Okay, different faction, but same kind of reasoning. Shadow Serpentis Warp Scrambler. So it's a Warp Scrambler, but with a green tag on it. It's slightly fancier. 56 million. Whereas this one I picked up here is worth 21,000. That is the difference in scale that we're looking at. That's the value difference. You still remember the Sansa escalation you landed that got you a Succubus blueprint? Nice! Yeah, I've had a few Daredevils, a couple Vigilants. Always nice to pick up. I did steal a site from someone. They were in the process of running the site, and I didn't feel like turning around. I'll be honest, I was in a dickish mood. So I locked up the ships. They were working their way through slowly. I hit the lightning blap of 5,000. All the ships blew up. A faction ship spawned. I blew that up as well. Because I caused the faction ship to spawn, the site counted that as my completion, and it happened to escalate. So not only did I get the faction ship, I also got the escalation, and the faction ship dropped a faction module. In total, I stole around about 150 million's worth of loot from that guy. For firing 2 shots. Eve is a bit cutthroat. Eve can be cutthroat. Imagine doing a relic mission where someone else can join the relic mission at any point, and if they join and beat you to extraction, they get the relic loot instead. Imagine it like that. Stalker A, but Stalker is a player? Pretty much. Well, no. Stalker attacks the player. I was just thieving. I was an Xmas Grusling. And I got away with the good stuff. But that's the nature of it. That's part of the difference between a cheap and weak ship or a expensive but effective ship. Mine is costly and pretty much designed around one goal, and it does that goal so damn well I can actually steal sites from other players so hard that they can't stop it. There is one counter to what I do, aside from just suicide ganking me, and I'm not going to explain that counter today because that would be stupid. I am currently streaming. That would be ridiculously stupid to explain the counter right now. But there is one. Yeah. Normally you don't need to compete for sites. There's not that many people doing these sites, and there is enough space you can just kind of split out and go your separate ways. It's just every now and then if I land on a site that someone else is landing on at the same time, or maybe they were there first, I might decide that, nope, that one's mine instead of theirs. Welcome to EVE Online, bitch. There they are. Almost couldn't see them through the distance again. One downside, my lightning has a range of just under 30 km. This site will spawn me anywhere between 28 to 32 km away. It is immensely frustrating. Everyone's answering incursions? I did run those, and I got immensely bored of them. Yes, they can be stressful, but I ran them as part of established groups who basically had it down to a science. Not even an art, just straight up science. The FCs... Oh, hey! Faction spawn. Sweet. That's pretty rapid to have another one, but I'll take it. No escalation, but faction spawn. Let's see what's in the loot. As I said, yeah. There'll be FCs, fleet commanders that is, who would know exactly what to do, how to pilot the entire fleet around to run the sites textbook perfectly. I flew both DPS and Logi for those groups. Again, worth bupkis. I almost don't want to carry it, it's worth so little. In fact, I'm not going to carry it, it's worth so little.
Warp drive active.
You're dumping my ship, the Jupiter Cannon? Fair enough. Warp to Me is who you play with, just run a Vindy? Fair enough. I think I did Warp to Me as well. I flew with 2 different groups over time, but I think Warp to Me was one of them. In any case, I flew both a Nightmare and... I want to say Bazzi? Yeah. Oh, was that at the time the Marauders were being phased in? Okay, fair enough. I've only ever used a Marauder as either a mission running ship, level 4s, or I've used a Marauder as bait. I may have lit a Sino in someone's home system, or a group's home system, with my Marauder to drop a Black Ops fleet on them. Gotta say, not the smartest thing, but it was damn fun to do. Damn fun to take a ship worth a month's subscription and anchor it in space for 10 minutes on the doorstep of a rival gang going, "Come at me, bitches." It's certainly a unique choice. The risk is the fun. Alright. Nothing from that site, we'll move on to the next one. You see, this is a very effective ship for what we gotta do. Basically just kind of point guns in the general direction and zappy zappy go boom boom. It's brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Oh, someone's already on this one, and they're most of the way through the site, I can tell by the number of wrecks. Yep, that's fine, they can have it. Didn't want it anyway. I could try stealing it from them, but I'm not going to. Especially with that there. They dropped a pack rat in a hideaway. So, I need to expand on what I've just witnessed there. This is someone who has walked into the smallest of all possible sites you can encounter in this space. It is as low level as it gets. The only reason I'm going to them is because they can occasionally give you either a respawn and or a link to a much more valuable site hidden away somewhere. But the site itself is just the site itself. It is the most basic site in existence. There is zero threat. What this person decided to do, that I've just seen there, is whilst completing that site, they have deployed an auto-looting device. And not just any auto-looting device, they've deployed a upgraded auto-looting device, which makes it harder to be scanned down. Number one, no one, and I do mean no one, is scanning down his auto-looting device in that system. 2, even if they were looking for looting devices, why would he expect it to be a problem when he's only got, what, 2 wrecks there of any loot inside? And 3, the loot contained within those wrecks will on average be probably less than 1% of the value of the tractor he deployed. This is someone who purchased a Warframe Prime Access equivalent, maybe not actually spending real money, but a Warframe Prime Access equivalent, just to get the Titan Extractor or whatever it's called, in order to get themselves some nanospores. That's how ridiculous it is. The deciding factor on them buying the equivalent of a Prime Access was to get some nanospores. You can see my confusion as to seeing someone deploy that. It's like, bro, you don't need to do that. Just pick up the spores. They're right there. Meanwhile, I'm just moving on to the next site, and zappy zappy boom boom. Explosions! I do love how bright it gets. It is completely ridiculous. The things I'm blowing up here do not have the value to explode this brightly, and yet brightly they explode. It's just such graphical overkill, I love it. The lightning beam between the ships, you see some of the ships just start careening off into the distance and then boom, moments later. But the structures in the site just evaporate and take out your screen in the process. This is going to be Flashbang the stream, and we got one! Oh, I don't like it. So, let me fill you on what this little message is right here. This is the main thing we are looking for today. This is the main thing we're looking for. This is an escalation. The first one we've got today. So, Queen Coalescence might be having a little bit of a deja vu. This is the main thing we're looking for today, are these escalations. When you complete one of these sites, there is a chance that you pick up a signal that says, hey, there are more NPCs of a higher level site of greater value somewhere over here. Head on over, fuck them up. Only I can load that site. It will not exist until I go there. So no one else can run it before I get there. And that increases the safety of me running it. Unfortunately, as I can see in the blurred section of my screen here, you might be able to see the colour just about coming through the blur. The location it has given me is in low security space. This location, therefore, is not safe for me to take this ship into. If I go to that location, there is a reasonable chance of death. Especially as I am live streaming. It may not be worth murdering me in high security space, but it is kind of hard for me to say, oh, evil stream snipers, if I just wander into pirate space in a ship that can't defend itself against pirate space. So, no, I will not be taking this run. I'm just going to switch screen a moment so I can check further details on it without overly revealing. Ah, that's a shame as well. Looking at the route, that is a shame. But, ain't an option. I'm just going to untrack that, remove it from there. Switch us back. Do these ever go into nullsec? Yes. In fact, I've had an absolute bastard of a one. I grabbed in 0.8 security, and it chose a location 5 jumps away in nullsec. And not just any nullsec, on one of the nullsec pipelines notorious for getting people murdered. And it was only a 310. I just looked at it, first when the system popped up, I saw the nullsec and my heart started, I was like, great, well that's a loss. And then I looked at the system name again, I recognise that. And dawning. It dawned on me. Was it the GTMR pipe? No, because GTMR doesn't have a nullsec between it. It was PFTAC 346, if I recall the name correctly. Which, if I recall correctly, that is immediately adjacent to Orville. And it is an easy entry from high sec straight into null sec. I think it's called PF tag. Let me check. Wow, there are a lot of PF tags. PF 346. Yep, there it is. Adjacent solar system. Awful. I'm absolutely on it. Why do I memorize these things? Yeah. Jita and Ma, there are two routes of particular note. You can either take the really, really long high-sec only route with a bunch of 0.5s, or you can take the route through Amazon and not reach your destination. Those are your options. Go the really long way around, or die. Now, there are going to be those out there who'll say, but Ken, it's not that dangerous. You can get through if you do this or do that or have this. Yes, you might. But the average person that goes through that system dies. Every time. Just don't do it. If you are traveling between Jita and Amar, take the long route. Or just first ask yourself, why the hell are you going to Amar? Who wants to be in Amar? Ew. Yeah. I mean, sure, they got shiny ships, but you can build those elsewhere. Whoa, okay, that's unexpected. Red Kanji. With the VIP redemption. My, you've been sat on those points for a while, haven't you? Red Kanji. Boom. You are now a VIP of the channel. Show off your shiny new diamond badge. Look at that. That is unusual. 150,000 channel points right there to get that. That's functionally more expensive than this ship. Someone was saying, used to run some deliveries through the long route. That's probably why I remember it being high sec. Yeah, the route didn't used to be so long. It used to go straight through, I think, Niaja, I want to say. And then Niaja got stolen. Niaja got stolen. Now, you might be wondering, Ken, what is a Niaja? What are you on about? How did a Niaja get stolen? Niaja is a star system. Like the one I am in right now, Niaja is a straight-up star system. The Triglavians, an alien race, attacked and stole a bunch of star systems. They took the Stargates offline. They created their own network. That region of space is basically a separate, disconnected region. The stars are probably just like there and there and there and there, somewhere around there, I don't know where. But the only two ways of reaching them are a filament or wormhole, because there's no direct gate there now. And because they stole Niaja, the next best route through High-Sec to go from here to here, as it were, is to go all the way around. Bastards. Voidbox, I know PTSD from this game, even though you played for a little less than a year. Fair enough. I have probably more hours on this than I do Warframe, even now. Don't even know there's still stars. Oh yeah, there's still stars. The Triglavians are doing weird to them. I would give a better description, but every time I've tried to take a look, I have been scared out of the area. So, yeah.
Warp drive active.
So, whatever the Trigs are doing to those stars, they are continuing to do it. Be it harvesting, converting, molesting, I don't know what word you'd use, but there's certainly a lot of applicable ones to what has happened to those poor little systems. Really pretty places regardless, yeah. Trying to remember. Did they steal that system? No, they didn't steal Cat. Good. At one point I used to live in the system of Cat. Very brief period of time, but yeah. When did the stealing happen exactly? Oh, years ago. Years ago at this point. I don't know how many years, but years ago. It's been a minute.
Warp drive active.
And whilst we chat through all this, I'm just bouncing from system to system, seeing nope, nope, and nope on the shiny stuff, but that's fine. I have got a lot of systems on my route. Heck of a lot of systems we can bounce between. So something of an erratic route as well to further protect myself. You lived in Amatar space? Yeah, fair enough. I've mostly stayed in Galente space, whether that be Galente high sec, low sec, various parts all over the place. Galente faction warfare, Galente just out of the sides pirate space, whether it be right up in the high trading hub of Galente space or in the deep recesses of high sec. I've been all over the place there. Caldari space not as much. I find it honestly cold and bright. Don't like it. Mars space I've spent basically no time in. I've passed through for pretty much only incursions. And then Mimeta space I spent a little bit of time in. I think Langisi is in mini space, or is around that area. And a little bit of time in Mimeta faction warfare, but that was about it. Mostly it's been Galente space for me. Or nullsec. Or wormhole space. A lot of time in wormhole space. Do I ever think it's funny you warp through planets and stars sometimes? I've gotten absurdly used to it for starters, and second of all, warp kind of takes you out of space in normal senses, so I just accept it for the limitations of the system. What's weirder, that you can warp through planets with a highly advanced warp drive, or that your ship navigates like a submarine? Oh, hello, we got 4 positive sites here, that's good. Let's go have a look at the first one. The ships in space in either line have a maximum speed, a maximum sub-warp speed, and you have an acceleration curve that feels like you're moving through some thick medium of water or whatnot. It's submarines in space. There's even a defined up and down. Makes sense of that. Voidvox, enjoyed being part of a mining corp, cruised around on Mallorca, but at some point my UI window settings got reset, rage quit, I hate trying to figure out all the window settings. Ah, okay. I mean, fair enough. I thought you were going to say, but then I didn't realise I jumped into a Triglavian minor victory system, or our high-sec system was under a pirate incursion, so it was considered low-sec for the day. Or, but then I got ganked by code in Uedama. Nope, your window settings got reset and that's why you quit. Fair enough. Everyone has their reason. Everyone has their reason. I did take a break after supercarrier changes made them able to solo, well, near enough solo, if you account for the Sino ship being an alt, near enough solo gate camp a DST in low sec. I did my absolute best. I was very good at piloting that DST and I still got caught by a supercarrier that wasn't even in the system when I jumped into it. Needless to say, I was a little bit mad at the balancing of the game. I understand it has been changed a bit since then, but you know. Also, faction spawn! Yes! Let's see what we got this time. Is it another Bupkis? The odds are not in our favour, but let's see. Is it Bupkis? It is Bupkis! Alright, I'm not even going to pick it up. I'm not insulted by it. Again. Next site.
Warp drive active.
Yeah, I've lost ships in stupid circumstances. I have kept ships alive in stupid circumstances. About the only thing I haven't got involved in, at least in some extent, is flying my own capital into battle. That's it. I can think of. Because I've done ship construction, I've done Tech 2 and Tech 3 construction, mining of various scales. Haven't used capital mining ship, but still mining of various scales. Ore mining, ice mining, gas mining, different types of gas mining. Hell, gun mining, technically. All kinds of different bits of industry, trade, haulage, mission running, standard missions, faction warfare missions. I've done exploration in every region worth exploring into, basically. Tell a lie, I haven't done high-end wormholes. So there's that and capital warfare. I can fly both an Amarian Amarian carrier and dreadnought, but I've just never had the reason to throw that money away. Just never had the reason, because those are not cheap ships.
Drive active.
And I've not really stayed in group. I've not stayed in groups large enough to need to use those kinds of ships.
Active.
That oop just there. Another site I was looking at closed. So make sure I'm warping to the one that's open, but I think someone else is along here. Yeah, fair enough, smuggler. I've done lots. I've done solo war decks. I've been part of a war decking group. Exec Navy, I'm going to let him have this. I'm going to let him have it. He's even got railguns. Good. You see so many people, they try you doing these with blasters. Like, what are you doing?
Active.
No, he's doing it correctly. He's also called Ticker Licker. Not that he knows it, or maybe he does, but from our perspective as people who know Warframe, that is an interesting username. We're going to leave the system. Yep. We have done war decks, both offensive and defensive, structure bashes, structure assembly and maintenance. All over the place. Really, really all over the place. Been in fleets, led fleets, various sizes. I don't think I've led a fleet in triple figures, but certainly a decent double figure fleet.
Warp drive active.
Kind of all over. Problem is that I've not found anywhere I wanted to really settle down, so I've always been a bit of a lone wolf, barring momentary connections. And part of it is because, unfortunately, to get into that side of things, it becomes either a commitment or a drone. I don't have the time or desire to overly commit to Eve to take on the higher tier of things, and I have no desire to be a drone in someone else's machine, which I understand relegates me to relatively smaller options, but I can go wide with those options rather than going tall. That's my personal preference.
Warp drive active.
If things weren't so damn expensive to switch around, certainly having multiple characters, good god, the investment on that. Then I'd consider otherwise, but I got other things to do. Oh, hold on. I was about to leave the system, on the way to leaving it, but something of interest has just appeared. Hello, Miralabe. Cancel the warp. You can't cancel it halfway through, but you can tell it to not continue doing the action at the end of the warp. Turn around from that Stargate there. Let's head off to where we can go instead. Up over here we have ourselves a hideaway. Again, lowest level site in the game. Each of the main factions of Pirate have one of these hideaways. This, I think, is the only one that escalates to the kind of thing I'm looking for. I'd have to double check the guides, but I think it's the only one that does. Zappy Zappy number 1. My ammo costs more than the earning on that shot. Same again, Zappy 2. Hey, that sounds like good news, Miralabe. Glad that you'll be out of there soon enough. I presume a discharge, as in, you know, things are on the mend for you. Right, and look at that. Yep, nothing good. Nothing good once again from that side, but that's how it rolls. We tried to crack open a relic, and we got a uncommon former blueprint. Poop, off we pop. Honestly, not even an uncommon former blueprints. We ran a mission hoping to get a drop from a cache, and we got nanospores. That's probably more akin to what we got there. Yeah. We'll keep running. If I get absurdly lucky, doing these things can lead me to something worth, at the high end, 200 million. And even on a reasonably low luck scenario, as long as it's not bottoms me out, but just low luck, I'm still looking at potentially like 15, 20 mil. That's if I don't roll absolute crap. Now, the ship being worth about 750 million, you can see why stacking up a few of those potential sites together can turn around into a decent amount of loot. And so long as I don't lose the ship, that 750 million isn't lost, it's merely invested. That's a win. The other positive is that it's not intensive. I'm not constantly trying to optimize every shot like in an L4 Blitz. I'm not on the edge making sure I've got exactly the right fit and perfectly handling it with, say, burner missions. I don't have to be watching the hell out of D-scan if I was in a low sec or a wormhole space site. I'm not constantly repositioning probes every 5 seconds just to try and scan down the next crappy data site someone's left half completed. Skybreaker, oh hey, frigate version of my ship, I think. This is one of the more chill options I have that also still earns money. Because I could go mining. And I've demonstrated this before now, but this is how mining goes on Even Line. Imagine we have just warped to an asteroid belt, and we're going through warp, we're going to land in an asteroid belt, and this is mining. That's mining. It's not exactly riveting gameplay. And if you do not dial it up to 11 to stack the boost together, the income from it is pathetic. Truly, genuinely pathetic. I think I have a mining ship stashed away somewhere, actually not more than a few jumps away from here. On the best rock that I can get in this area, I could probably get an income in the region of about 14 million per hour with that ship. 14 million. Which means if I were to try and pay my subscription in EVE Online with that ship, it would cost me somewhere in the region of 179 hours of my time. And that's the high end of income with that ship solo. In order to get more than that, I would need a more expensive ship. I would need to have fleet mates with me, flying even more expensive ships again to boost my ship's effectiveness. And to take the next step beyond that, I would need to be in basically pirate space, player control pirate space to be in the absolute best scenario, whereupon people have invested even more again to not only have obtained the space, but to maintain the space and to maintain all the ships and boosts and everything in the process. And still, the entire mining process is with cycle times of 1 to 2 minutes. Literally, you press the button, it just kind of fills in. Ding! You receive ore. Yeah. Now, if that was paying out a lot, I would be more interested. But unfortunately, EVE Online is designed to allow multi-boxing and to encourage AFK. As much as AFK is actually a bad idea, it actively encourages it in so many parts of space that it doesn't really matter anyway. Mining has not been made to be an active activity outside of gas mining, and as a result, outside of gas mining, the individual income is dire. It's about like, I would say it's about equivalent. It's about equivalent to using a Woo clone setup to farm Endo in a survival mission to earn platinum. That's what solo mining is. Woo clone, survival mission, earning Endo from that mission to farm platinum. You wouldn't. Smuggler saying mining is best on AFK once you have some drones to protect yourself. The drones will protect you from basic NPC pirates only, and that's it. Anything you actually need to protect yourself against, you know, players, those drones ain't gonna do shit solo. Hell, even in a group, unless the person attacking you is just a chancer in a frigate or something, those drones ain't gonna do shit. The combat drones that can be slapped onto a mining ship is not there to defend you against players, it is there entirely to defend against NPC spawns. And even then, only in some circumstances. All the circumstances high sec, no, 99% of circumstances high sec, maybe like 80 to 85% low sec, and maybe 70 to 75% null sec, and 0% wormhole. They just ain't good enough to be an actual genuine protection. The idea is that you either have others around you to protect you, or you don't let people attack you in the first place. That is usually the way to keep your mining fleet alive. Do not be shot at. Yeah. So it's hold down the laser beam until you're told, get out of there, someone's about to turn off your laser beam. So you turn off your laser beam and you leave, and you wait until the person who would forcibly turn it off goes away so you can go back to using your laser beam. For people who have these really big setups where they actually get some kind of income from it, that's still going to take a lot of time to get your return on investment. Like, oh my god, that is a lot of mining. But for those who get that, for those who do manage that income to make it at least apparently worthwhile, it ends up more of a shoot the breeze situation. It's fishing. They're just chilling, chatting with their mates on a call, drinking whatever their choice of drink is. Until again someone says, oh, dock up, hostiles 2 jumps away. Yeah. In various ways it's kind of sad. The way to mine in this game is to set yourself up as an NPC. Because there isn't an NPC who will do it for you. It's kind of sad in that regard. But hey, so long as that's not the only thing you wanted out of EVE Online, you're Gucci. Go do the other bits. Fly a morphing V or X shaped ship with a lightning rod for a gun. Scout out some shiny places to go and make your screen into a flashbang. Yup. I have a ping on Discord. Why am I pinged? I'm not pinged for anything of importance. That is fine. Hey, we got a couple things in this system. Alright, let's head on over there. I don't know how many people are in local because I've got that closed at the moment. Oh, hey. We're in a system I talked about earlier. Let's head on over. And see what we can get. I have been followed by Goonie Goblin. Well, that's foreshadowing. That might be foreshadowing, okay. That is somewhere on the level of being followed by the man in the wall on a Warframe stream. Or Nef Anyo's collections department. But it's fine. Big shiny explosions. Can't be mad at that. Big shiny explosions. If you can't tell what's going on, that's the idea. It's big shiny explosions. Mirror Labe 2, cheers. Yes, enunciating the 2 was necessary. Zap, 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 zap. And second bolt. They're all dead. No bonus spawn. We move over to the other site.
Warp drive active.
Not in range of anything to loot it. I'm not going to travel to it. I'm just going to move. It just ain't worth sticking around there at the moment. Big old bright sun. We'll just block that with the ship. Reduce the glare a little bit. I could just turn the camera. But then it's going to get bright here probably. Oh wait, no, it's this side. Never mind. It's not going to get bright. This one does not explode into grand fireworks, which is probably better for everyone's eyes. This one just has little red triangles turned into little white boxes. As lightning beam shoots over to them, the animation always plays a little bit later. It's funky, but it works. And then on this one, we'll either get the bonuses or we won't. We won't. Fair enough then. Like I say, so like a 1 in 10 chance.
Warp drive active.
We head to the next place. Ah, it's nice travelling at this many times the speed of light. How fast do we go? I'm going to get... We have a maximum speed of 1,920 times the speed of light. Roughly. Cool. Yeah, alright. That's a nice warp drive. Who doesn't like travelling at nearly 2,000 times the speed of light?
Active.
Straight into a pirate refuge. It brings in its legs. Tight warp it is. I'm not sure why the animators went for that exact animation, but it works. It does work, doesn't it? Alright, this is your captain speaking. Please expect flashbangs in approximately 10 seconds. Explosions are initiated. Flashbangs inbound. There they are! And they're going to get brighter. Oh, would you look at that? It's like staring into the sun. But... loot. This site continues exploding for a bit of a while, doesn't it? There we are. Things are dissipating. Luckily, while our optical sensors get overwhelmed, my ship's ability to fire does not. Now let's head to the not quite so bright one,
Drive active.
because the site's already done. Just like that. Kill 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 ships and 2 dangerous structures. So 13 hostiles in total. Took them out in, what, 6 shots? Maybe 8. And this has a cycle time of 6.73 seconds, so less than a minute, all of them gone. Let's do that again. One cycle. 2 cycles. Ready? 3 cycles. 4 cycles. Is that the end of the side? That's the end of the side. Okay. What's the highest value ship I've lost? Oh god damn, that is one other question. I lost a Tengu under ridiculous circumstances, so that's probably going to be up there. I don't think I've lost an Orca or a freighter, so I'm okay on that. Let's do a kill board. I go to public kill board. I don't list my kills and losses on the kill board, so it's only got the ones which people have otherwise reported. Can I sort by most expensive? Most valuable kills, but I want most valuable losses. No, come on. Oh, apparently I have 42 kills logged with Confessor. Fair enough, I like my lasers. Okay, looks like I can't sort my losses by most expensive. Officer Fit Avatar? Yeah, I don't think I've ever am going to afford one of those. No. Agyum. No, I'm just going to quickly scroll through the kill board. Let's see. There was the Curse, that costs 200 mil. But I've definitely lost more expensive than 200 mil. A whole bunch of cheap shit there. I lost something worth less than $1 million. Oh, a bunch of Griffins just stored in a station and got blown up. That'll do it. Yep. There was the Occator that was worth 377 million according to this listing. That was a bad day. Yup. 377 mil ship right there. Armageddon worth 200 mil at the time. Helios 150 mil with loot on board. Occator nearly 400 mil. Another Occator worth nearly 300 mil. Tengu worth over 300. That one died in Uedama? What the fuck happened? I don't remember being suicide ganked in a Tengu, but apparently that happened. Oh shit, when did that happen? 2017. Wow, I mean, it's 7 years ago. You can see why I've forgotten. 7 years ago, I got suicide ganked whilst flying a Tengu. And it wasn't even a shiny Tengu. It just died. Yep. Oh! This was scrubbed from my brain. Okay, I found my most expensive loss. I lost a 2 bill capsule. I lost a high grade crystal set. Oh, God, that's not good. And that wasn't today money. That was 2017. That was 2017. So that must have been like 2 months, maybe 3 months subscription equivalent. I think 2 months. Ah! Ouch! I don't know what they go for now, but like high grade. Can I search high grade crystal? Or does it? Yeah, just go high grade crystal. High grade crystal. So the set now. The Omega alone is 750 million, and then this 120. So it's over $1 billion. Looks like that might have come down. Oh wait, no, I had other implants as well. I had the full high grade crystal set, and then 4 other 0.3 implants. They're not worth that much. It says on the kill mail the high grade Omega at the time, which is now 754 mil, cost 966. So that's come down in price. But at the time, it was worth 2 bill, and at that time, I don't know what Plex was worth, but it's worth a lot less than it is today. That was a shiny loss. And what was the ship attached to that? That was... I was flying an Oracle? I was in a high-grade crystal clone flying an Oracle? Okay then. Yeah. No, apparently I was not having a good day that day.
Drive active.
Evidently I thought I was safer than I was. I mean, it was in J space. But yikers. Yeah, 2 bill is probably going to be my biggest loss on there. I can have a look at from other stuff. There's another Armageddon. Apparently I love losing those. Confessor loss, Retribution, couple frigates no one cares about. Blah 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 blah. Frig. Brutix, who cares about those? Chicken feed in comparison. Couple more battle cruisers. 46 mil pod, lost to something stupid. No doubt, because it was in low sec. shouldn't lose a pod in low sec, but sometimes you do. Another Armageddon loss, this time in nullsec. Another Armageddon loss, also in nullsec. A couple of Cyclones, those were in Fleet Ops. Rattlesnake and a Curse lost to Pirates in nullsec. Not NPC Pirates. But yeah, nothing's likely to come close to a 2-bill pod. Considering that I have not flown capitals in any dangerous space, a 2-bill pod is kind of going to be the limit of it. Yeah. As far as I'm seeing. So yeah, there you are. There's your answer. Is this American billion or British billion? American billion isn't different from British billion. 1,000 million. American billion is still 1,000 million. I can't remember which numbering system used to use the million, but yeah. Won that.
Warp drive active.
Also, before I leave, yeah, no, nothing valuable. At least I didn't lose a pod to smart bombs gating around high sec. I've seen people who have lost in that way, yeah. Hell, I blew up a jump freighter that went suspect in perimeter. Yep. Umbrelli, simple proof that they don't use it that way. The US talks about being trillions in debt. Now, do you think they are UK trillions in debt? Or do you think they are millions of billions in debt? Puzzle that one out. Why is top left corner blurred? For my safety. It is hiding location information that could otherwise incentivize hostile elements to ruin my day. By blurring that, I make it just awkward enough that they might just not care. Because this is a PvP enabled at all times game, reducing the likelihood of someone wanting to PvP me is a good idea, seeing as I am live streaming. Also, we just got a faction spawn. No escalation, we did get a faction spawn. This has, like, I swear, something like a 1 in 30 chance of ever being valuable. I'm past the point of getting properly excited about faction spawns. But sometimes, they have something of worth. That sometimes is so low that I almost don't loot these wrecks, but because there is that chance, and when it appears it is actually rather valuable, I have to have a look every time. I used to, when I was using a different ship, I would actually equip cargo scanners to scan all these wrecks before leaving to see if they're worthwhile. But it was so rarely worthwhile that I've stopped even doing that. And it's worth Bupkiss. Bupkiss.
Active.
Yeah. Bang with the hydrate. Cheers. Untaker username saying, some people make it their goal to visit Eve streamers and test OPSEC. Yeah, fair do. My OPSEC isn't that strong, but it's just a deterrent, that's all. Just a deterrent. Oh, I see, Umbrella, I see. Fair enough then. Well, that was before my time. Probably when we got on board with Metric, by the sounds of it. Yeah, I know the value of true OPSEC, and likewise how easy it is to break poor OPSEC. I remember years ago, someone posted a simple screenshot to Reddit of their new starbase, but they'd hidden all the details. No one could figure out where they were. They had hidden basically everything of interest. And they made a point of this. Like, no, I'm safe. I've hidden all the details. Now, I didn't have the means to take down their starbase. I didn't have the desire to take down their starbase. Been there, done that. Fuck that noise. But I did have the means to prove someone wrong on Reddit. What they crucially left up is you can just about see around the edges of my screen. If I turn my screen this way around, like this. Hold on, I'm just going to check exactly what I'm streaming here so you can see it. Let's do it like that. So you can see just next to my shoulder, just right there, there is a little symbol. It's a Stargate. And you can see at the bottom right corner, there's another symbol. To the far right, over here, there's another symbol. Basically, those are off-screen locations that I could warp to. Things like Stargates, they could be stations, could be planets. This person had set up their screenshot in such a way that I could see all these different icons around the edge. I could count the number of planets. I could see the number of stations, a couple relevant items like that. Also from the screenshot showing their starbase, I could see the region they were in based on the stellar nebula. Because just looking at a view like this tells me a lot about where in space someone is. And so I compiled those details. I knew the composition of planets, how many stargates, what approximate region. I could piece together these little details. And I came up with the location of their starbase. But because I'm not that malicious, I only DM'd it to them. I didn't put it in public. I just sent it to them as a DM. Like, this is the location of your starbase. OPSEC isn't that good. Hide icons. Oh dear, dear, dear. When you feel like really proving someone wrong, it turns out, well, there's a will, there's a way. Who doesn't love a good structure bash and Eve? I solo took down a starbase with a high-sec war deck. It was me and an alt. When I had an alt at the time. Neither of them perfectly spec'd into the kind of damage needed to take down a starbase, and again, I would like to reinforce, this was high-sec. So that means we couldn't use things, me and my alt, I couldn't use things like capitals. No. All that there was the skills for at the time was an Oracle and a Vexor with sentry drones. That is the extent of the damage output I had. An Oracle and a Vexor with sentry drones. It took 13 hours. 13 hours. During which time I learned that sentry drones actually move towards their target. Sentry drones that sit in space unmoving move. Because of the way they had to be coded into game to make it where they visually appear to turn towards their target, they move at 0.5 meters per second. Which over the course of 13 hours was more than enough time for those sentry drones to actually move inside of the force field and go offline. Requiring me to get more. Oh yeah, I got amazing loot. The owner of the starbase turned up 3 hours before I blew up the starbase, visited their structures and left. They hadn't been online for 2 weeks. There had been no sign of activity, nothing. And 10 hours into the 13-hour bash, they turned up with one character, stuck around for a moment, and left. Someone's in this site, I'm going to leave them to it. Whoever you are, with your ratting catalyst orbiting around it at quite a distance, have fun. So yeah, that was 13 years of my life I'm not going to get back, but then I did it pretty much AFK. I was doing other stuff at the time, mostly having breakdown from depression, but you know, if depression makes you take down a starbase over the course of 13 hours, that's what it'd do. That's what it'd do. I won't glorify that. It was not a good time of life. Alright, a whole bunch of nothing valuable in this system. Let's jump to the next one.
Drive active.
Ugh. So am I. Unfortunately for Eve, one of its biggest strengths is its biggest flaws. And that is, its scale requires time. If it weren't for the time required for things to happen, then the very active groups would just roll over everything. Anyone less than part of one of those blocks would never get anything done. The whole game wouldn't function. But in order for it to function, by having so much time involved, so much distance and space and process, it means then that if you want something quick, unless you go for the most cookie cutter of quick situations that can be created and manifested, something like a filament run, unless you're doing that, it just don't exist. A quick hop-on, hop-off mining session would barely be worth the electricity to run the graphics at full. Haven't played Eve for a few years, but warping to a location seeing a neutral catalyst still gives you a little jolt. Yeah. It's a good thing we're in high sec. If I was anywhere other than high sec, that would be a little bit of a... I mean, I have been the menace. One of my favourites was to use a curse in low sec, because I would find people who were belt ratting, looking for the nicest spawns, and there are some good ones in low sec. Also don't mind the flashbang. And the thing is, they would be checking their D-scan, and they would see there isn't another ship on D-scan, so they're safe. They know that a stealth bomber could decloak on them, but a stealth bomber would die to them, so they're not concerned about a stealth bomber in point range. So they are basically safe so long as they watch their D-scan, and why is there suddenly a ship on top of them? As they discover that force recons have that unique trait of being invisible to directional scanners. It doesn't come up much. It doesn't come up much at all. It's not really that valuable a trait in the long run. But if you want to be a little bit of a sneaky pirate, catching someone who's checked D-scan and thinks, okay, yeah, I'm good. If it's not on D-scan, it can't hurt me. They suddenly discover, oh wait, that's not an NPC. As their capacitor just goes, pew! And now they can't fire lasers or blasters or use their repair modules or use their propulsion module. As they see this swarm of drones clouding around them, as every alarm on their ship blares at once, and they just realise, wasn't just D-scan I needed to watch for. Wasn't just D-scan. That was fun. Problem with that though is that I'd get maybe a kill every few days because, well, anyone local kind of wises up and knows to just stop trying to do anything if I'm around. And anyone not local usually is passing through rather than going where I can smack them. Make sense? Ninja Fig, I was part of Mining Corp and we were getting pummeled by a Merc corporation. When it was over, our president hired the same corp to run us all through combat drills, and we all attacked the Merc's former employer. Fair enough, yeah. Fair enough.
Warp drive active.
I have done solo war decks on a couple of corporations. One of them had no idea what to do, and I just got to basically go shooting fish in a barrel. The other one had slightly more of an idea, but still got bruised up before I pissed off. Now, and take say for a long time I tried to kill everything I could using a stealth bomber. Even Ventures with enough target paint, a stealth bomber can hurt anything. I mean, you say even Ventures, bro. I still have a purifier somewhere with 3 light missile launchers, 2 warp scramblers, one of which is Dread Garistas, a afterburner, and then just ballistic controls. And of course, covert cloak. Light missiles do not do a lot of damage when on a bonus hull like that, and only 3 of them. But Ventures do not have a lot of power behind them. The 2 warp scramblers, one of them faction, means 5 points of warp scrambling, So that covers the Venture's base 2, and another 2 they could have if they fit a warp core stabilizer. So even someone who thinks, it's fine, I could get out of this, I am stable as you. Shit. And the added benefit, as you are no doubt aware with a stealth bomber, is of course, stealth bombers can immediately begin locking a target on decloaking. So unless that Venture is fit with a perfect nano fit or pre-aligned, I just kind of appear next to them and their systems turn offline. And they go, dead. Just dead. Remember Warp Core styles with passive no real downsides? I mean, they had downsides, it's just they didn't have downsides to non-combat ships. Aside from taking up the low slots that you'd probably want to use for agility or cargo, but yeah. Now they're an active module with a cooldown, but it gives you 2 rather than 1 per module, and it's only a single module you can fit. It's more balanced. It is more balanced. It also means that if you use a faction scram on anything other than a Venture, or anything other than an innately stabilized ship, you know you have them scrammed, because they can only get +2 points of protection, but a faction scram is 3 points of lockdown. So you know that scram is going to land.
Warp drive active.
Yeah, there have been a few changes. I'm still genuinely disappointed in CCP that Tiericide didn't finish. Yeah, I started when DCUs are active as well, yeah. Turn on the briefcase. First thing you have to do. Any jump, any movement, anywhere, turn on the briefcase. God, it's good they changed that. And also the stat change on it, so it's no longer required on every fit. But, what was I going to say? Yeah, Tiericide is where I think it is kind of ridiculous how little they did with it in the end. Tiericide, for those who don't know, way back when I started EVE Online, there were tiers of both ships and modules at even the very low end. So like the Galente would have, say, 4 frigates, I think it was more than that, but 4 frigates. They would have the basic frigate, the better frigate, the frigate everyone uses, and then some variant frigate for something else. That was basically how it was broken down. And eventually the developers went, hang on, why have we got multiple ships which are designed to be useless? Why not give them different roles? Duh! And so they started fixing on that, and they did a good job with that. And then they did the same thing with some of the modules. They went, hang on, we've got these 5 warp scramblers before Tech 2. We've got the one that players build, which is the worst, but it's used in making Tech 2, so that's why people still build them. And then we've got Meta 1, 2, 3, and 4, which can be obtained from NPC drops. As you go up the meta, they become easier to fit to the ship, they have higher range, and no downside whatsoever. So Meta 1, 2, and 3 were just trash tier, Meta 4 was the one that everyone cared about. And the Meta 4, as a result, was actually much more expensive than the Tech 2, because everyone wanted that one and not the others. It was kind of stupid. And so they went through the game, bit by bit, and they made it where instead of having tiered variants between Tech 1 and Tech 2, there were actual differences. So you now have the Enduring Warp Scrambler. This one costs less capacitor to run. You have the Scoped Warp Scrambler. This one reaches slightly further. You have the Compact Warp Scrambler. This one is easier to fit on the ship. Things like that. And they went through a bunch of modules. They went through scramblers, disruptors, webifiers, neutralizers, painters, dampeners, ECM, all kinds of different pieces. Shield extenders got affected. I think repair modules broadly got affected. Afterburners, micro warp drives, yep, they got done. So all these lot here, these got done. Sensor boosters, I think, got done. Yep, yeah, they've got enduring and compact and so on. But they never touched the guns.
Warp drive active.
I still don't know why they never touched the guns. So if I go, for example, I bring up a 150mm railgun. Here we are. I've accidentally chosen a metal one, no less, because the naming is stupid. So you can have the 150mm railgun 1, that is built by players, or you can have the 150mm railgun 2, which is also built by players, using the 150mm railgun 1 and some other fancy process. There are higher tiers still, which are faction ones, and they're supposed to be higher tier. They're rare items. But these ones in between are dropped by just generic NPCs. Generic frigate NPCs or destroyer NPCs. The carbide has 5% more damage. The scout accelerator cannon has 10%. The compressed coil gun has 20% more damage, and the prototype Gauss gun has 15 and then 20. 5, 10, 15, 20% more damage. Why? Why have the 150mm carbide railgun 1 be so thoroughly outclassed that it is only just worth the value of what it can be melted down into? Its base materials you can melt it into sets its price, because no one wants this. You get that from an NPC, most people don't even pick it up. If they do pick it up, they don't even notice they have it. It'll just be in their inventory until it's either sold for minimum price or melted. How long ago did they do the rework for the other types? About 7 years ago, I want to say. Something like 7 years ago, in that region. This is how long it has been. I'm not talking this happened 6 months ago or last year. PUBG didn't exist when these changes were made. Pub freaking G. That's been out so long that an entire genre has properly set up around it, and PUBG's waned and waxed and waned multiple times. So it's like you could just do the same for guns? You'd think, wouldn't you? You'd think. People on Reddit have already done comprehensive mock-ups of exactly the changes they could make, and what's crazier still is that the only changes needed on the dev side, actual development, are stats and names. Stats and names. They don't have to reprogram the game. They don't have to change the drop tables. None of that. Maybe Smuggler. That PUBG came out half a decade ago at least now. They don't have to make any real changes to the game programming. Just change the stats so that some are better in one way than another, like scoped. Like yeah, they can have scoped, they can have range, they can have cheaper to run, easier to fit. There's your 4 variants. Range, fitting, energy cost. I did say another attribute. They're attributes. Not my job. Point is, you can set them. You can set them. And it's not like if they run out of options, they've now got other guns sat around doing nothing. When they did Tier Side before, they did do a little bit of programming there. They went, well, you see how there's 4 modules, but this module can only really break into 2 variants. Great. Well, these 2 modules will become this variant, and these 2 modules will become this variant. Job done. Fuck.
Drive active.
It's so weird because they don't have a history of listening to... so they have listened to the players, but there are a lot of times where they've made actions which were not listening to the players. And yes, they have hired players, often into community roles, and sometimes that's for the better and sometimes that isn't. CCP does not have the best development history. In fact, basically the entire reason that CCP Games as a company exists is because nothing exists to compete with EVE Online. Nothing. Every attempt to compete with EVE Online either couldn't handle the scale, didn't have the marketing, or, most typically, didn't have the balls to make something as cutthroat as EVE Online. That is one of the big parts of EVE Online. It is open to just letting it happen. What's that? Someone wants to come and knock over your sandcastle with 100 of their friends and you only have 2 people? You and your brother? Tough shit. 100 people decided to knock over your sandcastle. Welcome to EVE Online. Harden the fuck up. Their devs got together and made a band called Permaband and made the cringy ass song Harden the fuck up. That's EVE Online. Followed later on by another song, Killing is Just a Means of Communication. An ode to, hey, I shot you in the face. Isn't that great? Technically it means I love you because I murdered you. Or something like that. They're Icelandic, it's weird. The best ship is friendship? Yeah. So things to that effect, yeah. That's basically the reason why CCP Games has survived, because their other experiments, such as Dust 514, have been an absolute train wreck. The fact that EVE Online is still going is just a testament to the fact that EVE Online is a good concept. A good base that hasn't been done again. Because MMOs are notoriously bloody difficult to make happen.
Warp drive active.
They really are. The EVE Online has a cult following. But it does leave you wondering at times. EVE Online taught you a lot about avoiding scams? Yeah, fair do. EVE Online did teach me something as well, including things that I didn't even know were possible as scams, the kind of thing that make you go, how did you come up with this? Oh sure, there are the basic ones like ISK doublers. Everyone and their dog should be able to see right through those, but apparently people don't. But some of the really inventive ones, you're like, god damn, alright. Scams, the exploits, the griefs. Some of which weren't allowed, but happened anyway and then had to be punished. The most ridiculous of all the ones I see are things that are like, hey, selling off this bunch of stuff that I need to sell now. And they're selling a bunch of items, clearly undervalued. And it looks at, on the surface, hey, this is great, because it's like, you will receive this bunch of items, you will pay this smaller value. But underneath that section, it also says, you will owe, as in you have to pay up front, 500 Plex, the premium currency. For some reason that is in its own section, it doesn't stand out as clearly as you might expect. And this indicates to me they are looking very specifically for people who not only fall for these kinds of contracts, they don't read them over, but also just have that amount of premium currency just lying around. Which, alright, that's a choice. That's certainly a choice. Yeah. Weird stuff. Margin trading scams was one of the most painful to get my head around, learning what it actually meant. Just spend 5 minutes in G2 Local, you can see every scam in the book. Oh man, no. You spend 5 minutes in G2 Local, you'll see every basic scam in the book. Only the basic stuff. You will not see the really exotic ones. There are some crazy things people can pull off. There are some things that I would talk about, but would potentially put me at risk while streaming, for example. So let's not. And I don't mean at risk from Twitch or from CCP Games, I mean at risk from an entrepreneurial player going, oh, that sounds fun. Maybe I can make a quick buck here. Not from me, you ain't. Not from me. And again, that's part of why the screen is blurred. And taking in, my favourite was seeing people buy ships for cheap on contract without realising they're in deep null wormhole space. Yeah, that happens. I've seen the kind of scams happening in staging systems where the staging system will have their line members told, oh, buy ships off contract, they're all fully fit, you're off and good to go. They're like, yeah, this is great, I'll buy the ship off contract, it's all set up by my corp leaders, this is great. They load up the listings and yep, there's all these fit and ready to go ships, like, this is great. And so they buy the ship and off they pop. And little did they notice that someone advertising the contracts was not actually part of their organisation, and it wasn't a fully fit scimitar they bought, it was a fully fit scythe. And they just spent out the 200 or so million on a Tech 2 ship when they actually purchased a 10 million Tech 1 ship. Just like that. Or where items have very similar names, that's a basic one where you might have Kronos Cryos to trick someone with. The whole using a hostile group's doctrine and putting those ships onto contract, but slightly changed into a scammy way, that's an extra step to the scam. So it's not just a basic trick, it's a trick by slipping it in with all the other options available from a very legitimate source. That was clever. I'm just trying to think through various ones I've seen now, various other types of scam. TCP did away with the default of having corporations have friendly fire on, because it used to be you couldn't turn that off. It was just on. So if someone joined your corporation, your guild as it were, they could legally shoot you anywhere in the game and no NPC would come to save you. Have looked into the extraction shooter at all. I've seen gameplay of it by the devs on their live stream, and I gotta say, it just did not look appealing in the slightest. It looked like just another gritty, boring shooter. It really did. The gunplay didn't scream engaging and exciting and new, or even Eve. And that's basically what a shooter is, it's the gunplay. That's basically shooters 101. They need the gunplay, they're shooters. So, having seen bits of streams from devs and a couple people playing it, and being utterly unenthralled, I don't have high hopes for it. I don't. Here's a scam one for you. Courier contracts. These are simple contracts. You have an item, or a collection of items, you need them moving from here to there. Sorted! What could possibly go wrong about this? Well, the contracts are set up in such a way as to protect the person having the item hauled. The person who would like to do the hauling, they need to, first of all, put up the collateral. I can set the collateral. So say I've got an item worth 100 million, I need it moved from here to there. I can set the collateral at 110 million. So that means that if the person fails to deliver the contract, not only do they not get paid, I get 110 million-esque, which means I can go and buy the thing I've lost, buy a new one, and the 10 million is a commiseration. It's compensation for the, difficulty I've now been put through. Fair enough. And I can set the price, and it is a fixed price. So I say, move it from here to there, you need to put up a collateral of 110 million, if you move it successfully, I will pay you 1 million. People haul that all the time. It's stupid how little people will take as payment. But hey, their time, not mine. So then we get into the scams of it. For example, let's go with let's go with the bullcrap. They're like, oh yeah, okay, this thing is as big as a ship. Well, I suppose, yeah, it makes sense that it costs 500 million collateral. They pick up the package, they go to haul it, and they look at the box and they see it's just an empty box. It is a box the size of a spaceship with nothing inside of it. See, now I know who is picked up the contract, and if they're stupid enough, they'll use the same character to haul it. So I know exactly who to look for. I'll look for their ship, I know where it's going to pick up the package, I will blow up their ship with the package inside, the empty box, which means they lose ownership of the box, they can no longer deliver it, they fail the contract, they have to pay me 500 million. 500 million they put up front, so I know they have the money. And it's like, uh-oh, sorry, you failed to haul my empty box of nothing. Even if the box gets destroyed, I still get 500 million. Ha 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 ha. Yeah. And then, another variant would be, and this one was a sinister variant, I think things got changed in the game to handle this. You could set up a courier contract between two stations in high security space. It is perfectly safe to run this journey. The only problem is that the station on the other end isn't an NPC station, it's a player-owned station. And the courier will pick up the contract. They may have been smart enough to check, can I dock at that station? So they physically go to it, dock, yep, I can dock at the player station. They undock, they go pick up the contract, and they bring it over. Hello? Hello? Can someone let me in, please? Oh, they no longer have docking permission. Uh-oh. Which means they can't complete the contract, which means they fail the contract, and they look inside the box, and once again, yep, it's empty. Shit. That was brutal. The entire haulers channel just said they will not deliver to unknown citadels as a result of that.
Drive active.
Just no. Ninja Fix it looks to have a scarily efficient due to future tech vibe. You're right, it doesn't exactly scream fun. Ammo crafting and clone acquiring looks interesting, but I don't know if it's enough. Yeah. Yeah, that's just... Gone are the days where you can just put a crafting system into something and make it valuable. Gone are those days. There needs to be rhyme and reason to it. Otherwise, a crafting system is basically just a mobile game, making you wait to play. Hell, EVE Online has always been either ahead of or following the curve when it comes to monetization, in a mobile sense. The only thing they haven't done is loot boxes, because the players would rightly head on over to Iceland and blow up their headquarters if they did that. But in every other respect, yeah. Don't mind the flashbangs, it's just everything in the site blowing up. Except for me. Come on, escalation. We've been travelling for 1.5 hours and we got 1 escalation so far. This is not what I was hoping for today. That 1 in 10 is doing me a little bit dirty right now, and it's doing me dirty again. Okay. Love it. No escalation. Poop. Sometimes you get lucky, sometimes you don't. That's the very nature of 1 in 10. Everyone here has played anything with RNG in it, be it Warframe or otherwise. You know how 1 in 10 feels. You know. Yes, a nasty scam of a trick I've pulled on someone before now. They were looking to move their freighter across a number of jumps of high security space. I offered to help them out. They were wondering how I could help them out and said, well, it takes you a long time to get into warp, and that leaves you at risk as well, no less. Not just that it takes a long time, and it gets very boring. I could have a small ship fly alongside you, and I will web you. By activating the webbers on you, your ship will immediately drop down its maximum speed. Therefore, your current speed will jump over the threshold. Boom! Warp instantly activates. And through a bit of nattering and careful discussion, got them to agree to it. So we set off out, web them a few jumps, get them exactly where no one's going to get to them in time. And the next time, it's not a web, nope, it's a warp scrambler. And a gun. And all the rest of it. Because you can't choose just to be targeted by one module. You either allow yourself to be attacked, or you allow yourself to not be attacked. And attacked they were. They were upset about that, understandably. Welcome to EVE Online. Someone's going to be the pirate. Might as well be me. Because you agree to that by playing the game. There are almost a limitless number of other games you can play. This is the one where you go if you want it to be cutthroat. And no escalation. Beautiful. Alright, next one.
active.
And taking what is in Null, you would occasionally see clueless or careless capital pilots jump into Sino beacons that were named after friendly beacons, but land them in a pack of stealth bombers. Yeah. Always look before you jump. Doesn't just apply to real life. And hit bridge, not jump, applies to Titans. Oh dear, dear, dear. Oh dear. I'm almost making you want to try and bite into the game again. Decide on your own merit. Consider what actually comes of it. Consider the amount of time that it takes you to set up all of these curious scenarios, the amount of investment you have to put into it. Yep. Whoop. Nope. Security status 5.4. What the fuck? I have never seen that before. And he's left. Okay, that's good. Security status typically stops at 5. So to see 5.4 is wizard. I forget how you actually do that. I don't remember how it's possible to get over 5 security. That's, I did not expect to see a 5.4 today. That's, wow, okay. That's unique. I basically just saw an Excalibur Prime, but for mechanics instead of being early to the game. That's rare. Sail high, vast vacuum, don't know what Space Pirates would say. I think Space Pirates just kind of throw out slurs. If my experience on TeamSpeak is anything to go by, if you're in the wrong group, they just devolve into slurs or otherwise drunken rambles, or they might have a combination of that whilst also telling stories from actually being in wars in like Iraq and Afghanistan. Needless to say, I've met some curious people. Yeah. I have met some curious people playing this game. Yeah, Untaken, yeah. It's just getting over 5.0 sec is already hard in itself. To then just maintain that and then roll up in an Onyx to a refuge. He was flying... Isn't an Onyx a heavy interdictor? I swear it's a heavy interdictor, yeah. Like for a moment I was thinking, okay, this guy is meaning business. Yeah, he's a heavy interdictor. What the hell is a hick with a 5.4 sec status? Do people just like the look of ships? I mean, I suppose it is that. It is a nice looking ship. But a hick with 5.4. Yeah. Aussie Searle saying, I haven't seen a video on your channel, so I asked if you've made an information guide to Sinter, or just left Melee's degree. I just did the Melee's. The Sinter has basically nothing worth talking about. It's a crummy bow, is basically it. At one point it had an alt fire, we thought he got the stats wrong. It turns out that the alt fire was actually the NPC alt fire and was never meant to be handed to players. So the Sinter is actually just a bow with an arduous acquisition process. That's it. That's all it has for it. So I've not done a video on it because there's nothing exciting to talk about. That's long and short of it. Mildly concerning that we managed to get as far through this route as I have. I was really expecting to have at least, you know, one workable escalation by now. This is unlucky. Not even any shiny loot so far. Not one. Couple faction spawns and that's it. Yeah, you do see a lot of odd things in high sec, you do. I mean, have you ever seen a healer solo killed by a paladin in high sec? Who will I romance frame first of the proto frames? Honestly, I am hoping that I don't have to spend much time on that side of Warframe.
Warp drive
Okay,
active.
D wanted to add it. I'll be curious to see what they do with it, but I have no interest in creating romance scenarios in Warframe. I don't play it for that. When they announced it, I'll be quite honest, I was more incredulous than anything. If I hadn't met Reb and Megan in person and seen who they are as people, I'd always wonder if they lost a bet. Seriously. But it's on brand for them too. It was wild explaining when I was talking to my parents the other day, because they were of course curious about how all the event went. They like to keep up with what I'm doing if they don't understand many of it, and trying to explain that this grand event for a video game ended with a depiction of travelling back in time to 1999, whereupon there'll be a group of sort of broken misfits with superpowers who you'll be able to romance through 90s text messaging whilst connected to fighting infested boy bands that have become a hive mind in the far future due to a virus embedded in Snake. What did I just say?
Warp drive active.
What is that combination of words? How does that become a plot of Warframe? Are we about to have the Biberonico? I mean, it's a Canadian company. There is always the possibility of paid promotional advertising. I doubt it, but you can't rule it out. Is the craziest of things. And yeah, I've heard various pun names for the infested boy band. Like, as you said there, the Backstreet Boys or the Jordis brothers.
Warp drive active.
One infection. But it's still wild that we, unironically, will be facing off against the evolution of an infectious hive mind boy band from the 90s. Complete with actual song and character profiles in the same update chain that will also introduce a romance system not even related to said boy band. Once upon a time, the big reveal was, oh, by the way, you're actually not this mech suit, you are a child. Once upon a time, that was the reveal. Something happened. I'm not sure what. We might need to check DE headquarters for carbon monoxide leaks, because something happened. And I'm not sure what. Hey! Finally! Oh, fuck. It's in low sec. I'm in 0.9 space! How has this gone to low sec again? Why? Why must you fail me so often? Ah! Check how bad it is. Oh, fuck that. Yeah, nope. Not going to that one. Untrack. Nope. Second escalation. The first one we had was also low sec. That's 2 escalations in 2 hours, both low sec.
Active.
And this one's even worse than the first one. It's like properly in low sec. Oh well. Oh well. We need to keep them from jumping the shark higher and higher each time. Honestly, when I was at TennoCon 2023, sat down next to D-Zach in the front row. Well, no, we were in the second row at that point. Front row for the opener, but... Anyway, point is, with D-Zach, and he said, very simply, this year we decided to make it weird. I was like, okay, let's see what weird is. And then they did the reveal. The reveal of the labs opening up and giving us that great desert concrete sand vista and the crawling hand stuff. All of that. That was wild. That was weird. I didn't expect TennoCon 2024 to be weirder than that. I thought they'd set up their weird storyline, and then we were going to see how it became relatable, understandable, and solvable. Oh, how little I knew. Oh, how little I knew. That there'll be the double whammy of a romance system, just kind of, oh yeah, how did you meet these guys? Are the new Syndicate? It's like, oh, Syndicate, okay. Yeah, the new Syndicate, and you'll be able to romance them. Like, huh? No, say, well, what? No, you can't just say that like it's a thing. What? Also, by the way, boy bands. They're your enemy. Huh? What? Yeah. I got nothing on that. I got nothing. Absolutely nothing. Yeah, so real. Not sure what's gonna come of that. Fully voiced proto frames. Playable. At all times. In those environments or in general, I'm not sure. I'm trying not to predict too much because evidently I can't predict shit when it comes to Warframe. We'll see. We'll just have to see. Meanwhile, in this game, there are multiple alien races. There are the... I say alien, it's good as alien. There are the Drifters, which are the evolution of the Sleepers, and then you've got the Triglavians. The Triglavians stole a whole bunch of space. And there are filaments with just combat sites of some kind in that you can just kind of bump into from anywhere as you really choose to, I suppose. That's a thing. And pirates have stepped up their game, but only in certain places. And when they do, my god, do they step their game up. It's basically overkill. Also, I'm flying a ship which has one gun. It is lightning. Go figure. Yeah. I say the singles are really well. I haven't played Warframe in like 8 years, but YouTube recommended it to you. Fair enough. If you haven't played in 8 years, you haven't played Warframe. Just gonna put it out there. You played a game called Warframe, but like, you stopped playing before I started. And things have changed incredibly since I became a creator. So if you only last played Warframe 8 years ago, I think it's fair to say you haven't played Warframe. You played pre-Warframe. Not what we see and can play now. Definitely. Oh, come on, game. Give us some good stuff. Please. Please.
Drive active.
Did I accidentally hit my mute button again? Whoopsie. It's been a while since I've done that. Alright. Zap, zap, zap. 3 more rolls. Zap, zap, zap. Andrew, you are really behind on the stream because it's taking you so long to say that. I've already unmuted and I'm going on the site. You might need to refresh your stream, my dude. You've had so many stutters and latencies. You are behind, or just on mobile and took 10 years to type out muted. More explosions! And more explosions! This is a nice weapon system. How's everyone's eyeballs doing? Blinded yet? Now imagine a fleet of these ships. The one thing with a little bit of loot inside of it, I actually spawned just outside of loot range. Just because I'm this annoyed at things not happening, I'm going to go check it. Also, I noticed another site vanish. Okay, that's worth nothing. So, there might be someone else in this system running these. Yeah. I'll head over. If there is someone running that other one, I might steal it off them, to be honest. I might steal it off them. We'll see what ship they're in and how far through the site they are. It's probably not going to be worth stealing, but I've had such bad luck so far, and some of my best luck has been when I've tried to steal from someone. So, let's see what I land on. I land on a Tech 1 cruiser, a weird one at that. Moving in to run the site. What is he flying? He's getting really close for some reason. Does he have drones out? Oh, he does have drones out. They're just not acting. Okay. Very curious. There might just be a noob. I got an escalation. I stole it from under them, and it's not in low sec. What did I tell you? What did I tell you? My best luck is when I steal. My best luck is when I steal. Yep, he's gonna warp out now. All dejected. Sorry, dude. This is how the game works, apparently. If I steal a site from someone else, I'm more likely to get what I came here for. Yeah, this crime doesn't pay. Yeah. Yeah, just a bit, eh? Alright, so let me just have a look as to this. Make sure there's nothing stupid about it. No, that looks all good. That looks good. In fact... Oh no, we do have to take a right turn. Okay, cool. Alright. Well, that's not clever. Okay, what's the best way I can go about this? Hold on. I need a different window. Not that window. Not this window. That window. Okay. Wait. Wait. There we are. Okay. Let's do this.
Warp drive active.
Let's go. If I find anything of particular interest along the way, I might allow myself to be distracted, because hey, what's better than one escalation? 2 escalations. But otherwise, we are on our way towards the big dice roll. And it is still a dice roll. I might come away with it with absolutely nothing. I might just get utterly dunked on, but we're going to take those rolls. We're going to try it. who knows what could come of it. Nothing of interest in this system. We'll move on to the next one. Someone running around in the Nereus right there. Hello. Oh, they're 5 days old. Oh, welcome to the game. Welcome to the game. My autopilot has calculated a different route to the one I'm currently flying, which is curious. I guess there's just 2 ways around the same thing. It doesn't really matter to me. You just got your Ag Magnus? Oh yeah, I need to sort that, don't I? Ooh, gonna have to buy a bunch of bits. Yeah, I'm taking, yeah, there is definitely that weakness to mass Stormbringer of the damage being potentially split. Absolutely. You need a bunch of them, and you need balled up group of targets to hope that you can break them. It does screw up their logi. Their logi just kind of lose their minds going, who do we heal? But aside from making logi have an aneurysm, it definitely has a weak spot there, yeah. The good side is that your DPS as a fleet is insane for the scale of the fleet. If you're against appropriate targets, the DPS output can be truly insane, and with a good range, no less, too. Like right now, I have a maximum theoretical damage output of 2,500. 2,500 on a cruiser is stupid. My Marauder doesn't like to put out that amount of damage. The only problem is it's max 250 per target, up to 10 targets. But in the sites we're currently running, 250 DPS is what I would be using on a different ship entirely, and that would be single target. Your eyes? Welcome in, Angry Sharky. This is what this ship does. It flashbangs you. It flashbangs. It's great fun.
Drive active.
There is a reason we have a flashbang emote on this stream, and it's because it seems every game has a flashbang in it. Too many marshals in high sec? They're probably all cloaked. I don't know if I've seen a marshal outside of Jita. Iteron Mark 5. People still fly those? Yeah, this guy does, and he's been in the game a while. 2013. Blimey. I haven't used an Iteron Mark 5 for a very long time. Oh, another place we can try.
Drive active.
You know, it's the experience of being a child and all the adults asking you, what do you want to do when you grow up? Sure, I'm going to pretend I understand that, yes. Unlimited power, all the zappy zappy. Yeah, Jita is a very unsafe place if you've got something worth blowing up. The threshold for worth is higher compared to almost every other part of space. Hello, Vex and AB Issue. Are you doing anything? You are sitting very still and have just started being attacked. Do you have drones out? You don't even have drones out. Well, my site now, bitch. If you're just going to sit there and not even run the site, I'm going to run it for you. And I ain't going to give him the loot. At least not the good stuff. No sign of drones. He is moving. He has given up on the site. Where is he going? Off to that Stargate. Bye! Have a nice day! I stole the site from under you. Get good. Should have deployed drones. Should have deployed drones. I guess people do a high site running like to AFK a lot. Well, you can't really. You can't. He just arrived here. Like, he was still drifting to 0, so he hadn't finished completely slowing to nothing. He'd only recently arrived, but he wasn't exactly right on the ball. Whereas with this ship, I will be. With this ship of such an expense, I'm on the ball. I'm not going to risk losing a 750 million ship to being a silly Billy.
Warp drive active.
We got an interesting route here. Okay. But there are plenty of places people will AFK. It's just, this isn't the kind of thing you can AFK. Have I done many filament journeys? I filamented into Botchman, Nullsec, and Abyssal Dead Space. I'll be honest, Abyssal Dead Space just seems like one of the most uneven things I've ever encountered. I'm still surprised it got added to the game. Genuinely surprised. But it exists. Okay, it exists. But yeah, I've done some filamenting here or there. I've not had fleets to do it with. I've not cared to look for fleets to do it with. Say, like, doing fleet-sized incursions into Nullsec. It's just not my speed.
Warp drive active.
This we need PvE and PvP arenas for the people who couldn't be bothered to find their own content. I'm not sure I understand on the PvP arena, because PvE, it's not just an arena. Level 4 missions existed. Anomalies existed. Signature sites existed if you were willing to take the time to scan them down. I'm currently running anomalies. The crucial bit is they exist in space. And the more valuable the site, the more unsafe it is, the further into unsafe space you have to go. That doesn't apply to filaments. The risk of a filament is being suicide ganked on the exit. That is the entire risk. Aside from running the site itself, the entire player risk is being suicide ganked on the exit. And these are sites where people can be earning so much that it genuinely makes people wonder why they're in Nullsec. There will be people who live and play in Nullsec whose alternate account is their actual moneymaker in high security space using filaments, and that's just wild to me. That is completely and utterly wild. The PvP element of that is actually very much removed, where only suicide gank is the way in. What?
Warp drive active.
Yeah, instanced, technically safe content. Even in a high-sec mission, part of the point is that you are in space. People can find you. People can interfere. They can nick your loot if they really wanted to go to that effort. And sometimes that can actually screw up the mission runner, allowing for ransoms and whatnot. But Abyssal Dead Space is just not there. For all intents and purposes, you cease to exist. There is just a marker left in space as to where you will return to, or die trying. Otherwise, you're gone. The entire encounter you're in doesn't exist. As far as everyone else is concerned, doesn't exist.
Warp drive active.
Just at some point within 20 minutes, that little beacon will vanish, and your ship will appear again with loot in its hold, or you'll have died. And you just won't appear. This connects to the bigger risk of abyssal pockets. Actually, that's a valid point. When unintentionally disconnecting from the game is a greater risk than other players in a PvP game, I really have to wonder what the hell has happened on that one. I've heard of Abyssal PvP filament stuff still existing in some way. It will be in events arenas, but that's about it. That is really about it, is my understanding. It's events.
Warp drive active.
Hey Yozu, glad you like the YouTube. Welcome on in. Much appreciated. Oh. Right now we're on a Variety Friday. As you can tell, this is not a Railjack. This is definitely not Railjack. Alright, on the other side of this Stargate we are just arriving at, we will be able to finally head on over to the escalation we have been waiting for all this time. Third time's a charm. The first one went to low sec, the second one went to even worse low sec, the third one... This could be it. This could be what we wanted. DD threat assessment unsafe. 3 of 10, which is not that high, but it's the highest of the low level ones, which means it has A tier rated loot. And by A tier I mean, oh yes please, give me that yummy yummy. Nom nom nom. Many times I have been stiffed and gotten sweet sod all from it. Today may be one of those days. Many other times I have made so much it has been absolutely worth it. I've been really unlucky. My route has been selected to have a low chance of low sec escalation, and yet it has still occurred. This is really unfortunate to have that twice over. One from a 0.8 sister. Ugh. Here we go. So this has 1, 2, 3, 4 rooms. 4 rooms. And unlike Abyssal Dead Space, someone could now scan me down and get involved. They could even see all the loot. I hope that doesn't happen. I'm going to fire my chain lightning. I'm going to hit as much as I can, take out the crucial elements. I know exactly what I need to shoot to blitz my way through this as quickly as I am physically capable of doing so. I know this range is where I turn off that cycle. I need to switch over to a different ammunition to improve my clear speed. Wait till that rotate through. Whole load of bright stuff. NPCs beginning to swarm me. Who cares about them? Not me. 4 NPCs just exploded. Get wrecked. Another 2 NPCs exploded. Continue to get wrecked. I'm not even aiming for them. I'm aiming for this structure. The structure has now exploded. Excellent. Because I can whilst I'm here, I'm going to lock up some NPCs and just shoot them on the way through. Another set of NPCs just exploded. I think 4 of them popped on that one. Another 4 just exploded. Butkiss in that first loot can, but that loot can almost never has anything good in it. That's fine. Hello Solomir, welcome on in. That'll be the last of the big flashbangs for now. Next pocket, I want to zoom out a bit, because it helps with the targeting. Here we go. So everything that is not a sentry gun here needs to die. Let's set our approach to potential loot container, otherwise known as a Serpentis Chief of Security. Well, he's about to get fired. Out of a cannon, into the sun. Alright, this group over here just got zapped with chain lightning. Every single one of them dead. Next, this group. Bop. All 4 of them go pop. 4 in 1, just like that. I love it. This next group is right in front of me. Zip. Chain lightning takes them all out. You can see why it's a very effective weapon setter for this run. Next group's right ahead. Zip. They're all gone. Might as well lock this up. We'll be closing in on him soon. Group to the left just got obliterated. Oh yeah, the MJD is a fun module to use, yeah. Micro jump drive. When they first announced a micro jump drive, I wasn't expecting a module that only takes you 100 kilometers. You know, I was thinking, oh, maybe jump around the system, land right on top of someone kind of deal if you aim it just right or have the right beacon. But a 100-kilometer leap has turned out to be rather interesting, hasn't it? Is there something a new player can do solo? There's plenty that a new player can do solo. Angry Sharky, the first thing you can do is EVE Online. That's the very first thing you can do. EVE Online in this channel right now. Because that has an extra special feature behind it. There's a link that will allow you to create an account with an extra 1 million skill points to basically rocket you into getting going with the game. Rather than sitting around waiting for your earliest things to level up. Snap your fingers and have them. Not worth anything in there, other than this basic item we'll take. That's okay. It's not the big room yet.
Warp drive active.
The micro jump field generator, that's not T3 Destroyer, that's T2. That is on the, I want to say command SEs. T3 Destroyers are the tacticals. They don't get the field gen, to my understanding. Different ships. Similar, but different. Oh, you've maxed out your training because you took a break. When you say maxed out your training, do you mean as an alpha player? Because otherwise, it's a lot of skill points. Well, that'll be a lot of skill points. Start clearing through some of these groups. Yeah, the T3 is the transformer. Yeah. Good way of putting it. I'm gonna, again, blow up all the structures. We're gonna stay zoomed out because it gives me a good lay of the land here, and also in case I get an incursion. That would be bad. Okay, let's start locking up some stuff behind this. This group might actually be out of range of the headmaster. He was indeed out of range of the headmaster. Cool, I'll have to blow him up separately. That's annoying. Just the nature of the site, but yeah, this room is a little bit more, yeah. But yeah, there's plenty that an alpha clone can do. Absolutely plenty, and you can still increase your skill points. I will say the biggest thing to not do is to try and pay for your subscription with in-game money. Unless you are in an absolutely destitute country with no prospect of any realistic income, and you find yourself with an overabundance of time which you have no interest of using to improve your circumstances. Basically, if you are just too young and too incapable of improving your life, unless that is true, don't spend your time as an alpha clone trying to pay a subscription. You will burn out just paying for other people's fun. Not worth it. Not even if you do it as effectively as possible, not worth it. Instead, play for yourself. And if you can afford the subscription to unlock the rest of the game, as it were, then have fun with that, absolutely. That is very different. Okay, this room is complete. I realised I didn't actually loot the big guy. Whoopsies. I got carried away talking there. I'm going to go check on that real quick. Which T3D is your favourite? Oh, it's got to be the Confessor. It's got to be the Confessor. Lasers and I know they're not high meta in a lot of cases, but they are just so much fun to use. I love laser beams. If I can't have a sci-fi with lasers, what am I doing with my life, you know? And the Confessor being an actually more than merely functional ship, it's a very effective T3D. Love it. It just does so much right. Alright then, final room. This is the big one. And it's so brilliant, I don't even need to kill the other ships. I don't actually need to kill them. The only thing I need to kill is this entire station. Let's get started on that. My shield is still holding at 98%, which is hilariously strong for this kind of a site. You'll see loads of damage numbers pouring out from the chain lightning. It chains a bit weirdly off a structure this size, but that's fine. Oh, and an NPC ship got caught in it. Sucks to be them, I don't care. And another, oh, that was 5 NPC ships popped at once there. And another 2 of them popped. Chain lightning go burr. I'm going to switch now to my heavier ammo because I'm into closer range. This station does take a while to destroy. At 250 DPS, it does not go down quickly. It is the biggest downside of this ship that there is no focused damage option, but that's how they balance it. I don't mind, for this kind of a site, it's still sufficient to run it, and run it quickly. Quickly enough anyway. Considering how quickly we got through those previous rooms, I'm not going to complain. Again, I'm just going to fly myself over to exactly the loot position. An NPC ship just got caught in the crossfire. Sucks to be them. Another 2 went pop. There it went. There it went. I'm going to travel to there. Another NPC ship down. I'm not even aiming for them. I don't care how many NPC ships survive my presence here. Another one just died over there. I'm not aiming for them. I am solely aiming for this structure. Another 2 down. Most of the NPCs are now dead. Another 4 of them just evaporated. And another one. The structure of this thing is going down, down, down. No NPCs hit that time. I think the remaining ones are going to sensibly stay out of range. They have no reason to get close. Yeah, confessors in C13 can be quite silly, can't they? Yeah. According to ZKillBoard, Confessor is my most used PvP ship. Which doesn't surprise me. It's a fun ship. It is a fun one. Very agile for a laser ship, and can get onto people in ways they just aren't ready for. And surprisingly accurate. Alright, this structure is about to go down. Another NPC straight too close. Oh well, sucks to be them. There we go. Area complete. Loot box obtained. Let's open it up. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Make the stream worth it. Make the stream worth it. Over 2 hours. There are 4 potential rolls for loot. 4! 4 on top of this box. This box is guaranteed. There are 4 rolls for high tier loot. A-type modules. Some of them worth over 100 million ISK. I got nothing? Nothing? Nothing. Andrew just rolled a d20 and got a 1. Yep, you and me both, bruh. You and me both. Yeah. Alright then. Cool, as these NPCs continue to shoot me, I'm not even down 10% of my shields. I'm going to leave the area.
Drive active.
I earned nothing. I've probably made just enough to pay off the ammo. Yeah, Loot Fairy said no. Ah, shite. Streamer Look has abandoned you. What have you done to offend RNGesus? I called out the game for what it's done wrong. That's probably my crime here. Didn't suck up to Hilmar. Well, back to the grind. Damn. Alright. You know what? Out of sheer annoyance and desperation, I'm just going to check something over on this real quick. That is a... Ooh, do I want to risk it? Heck it, why not? It's a bad idea, let's do it.
Drive active.
It's a bad idea, let's do it. I'm going to see if either of these 2 blood refuges are going to escalate. I don't have a ship nearby suitable for it, and I could take this one in here. If I get the escalation with these refuges and take the ship in there, it might go badly. I haven't looked into the 410 blood variant. Might go badly. But hey, sod it. Evidently the ship does not want to pay out at the moment, so let's see what happens here. It probably won't even escalate. Target light missile battery tends to be the best one to shoot. Chain everything. I am being tracking disrupted. Oh no! It would be such a shame if I was using weaponry that could be tracking disrupted. I am not. For those of you still with eyeballs remaining... Oh, never mind. What are you going to do here? Do you deploy drones? Do you do anything other than leave? I would like if you would immediately leave, please. Thank you. Good. Okay, we're good. Woo! We're good. Not a hostile. Not a hostile. Where did they go? Did they go to the other side? Ah, shit. They went to the other side. Alright, we'll just do this one then. No point in warping to the other one. We already know it's taken. I could try and steal it from them, but honestly, a Vexor Navy will clear it through quick enough. It's not even worth it. Is there anything inside of this? Nothing that I care to carry. We move on.
Warp drive active.
We move on. That is just the universe saying, yep, no, you don't want to be doing this. Other people are going around, leave them to it. Oh, I never seem to get lucky loot on stream with the exception of that Kronos. 2 Eve streams ago. That Kronos was certainly an experience. Yeah. A solo Kronos in wormhole space. And I was flying just a basic scan ship. I think it was an Imicus. Led to something interesting. Send us through this lovely shiny Stargate. Get us out of here. There are a couple more blood refuges. I'm going to take them. In for a penny, in for a pound. Let's see what we get. Who knows? Maybe I'll roll out my bad luck here so that I get good luck again in Serpentis space. That'll be great. Well, Serpentis size. It's not their space. It's just where they happen to live. Never mind! The person I thought who went to the other site has actually gone to a different system and has gone here. I will go to the other site then. He can finish this one.
Drive active.
Yep. What's he using drones-wise? Aldari Navy Vespers? Why is he using never mind. Bloods are not weak to kinetic damage, and that's what Vespers do, so... Not sure of his choice of drone there, but it's his life. I can't change my damage type, he can. He chose not to. Big explosion! Yes! It's so bright and awesome. This is what you get these shiny ships for. Just all the explosions. Look at those coercer models. They ain't stand a chance. Nor those. Oh, hello, that one spawned right next to me. Be a shame if someone were to... Yep, there it goes. And site completes without anything of note. Is there anything inside these wrecks right on top of me? Nothing good, nothing good, nothing good. Okay! We move on. This is called light mode experience. Yeah. On the whole topic of light mode, I understand some people like light mode, some people like dark mode, it's all fine and dandy. It turns out that Patreon, of all places, has a dark mode only if you're signed in. If I go to Patreon on my account, I can set it to dark mode. But if I look at the Patreon front screen without signing in, there is nowhere to change it because dark mode is under your profile menu. Who figures out that dark mode is a good idea to implement on a website, implements it, and then hides it? Why? What benefit do they get from this? They want your data? For dark mode? That's a good way to get people to not sign in. They just go, oh, it's so bright, I'm going to click off now because I only use my phone in the dark in my bedroom. Ugh. It's not like it's even advertised. How would you know dark mode will be there on signing in, on creating accounts and signing in, if it's not there in the first place? How would you know? It's stupid. It is very much not practical, and that is an offense against this channel. 3 sites we can try. Okay.
Warp drive active.
Dice in hand, rolling them. I actually have a D20 right here. We are digitally rolling it, but I can still pre-roll it in my hands for good luck. Come on. Give us a good sight. Give us good numbers. Give us a faction spawn with 20 billion loot in or something. No, that can't happen, but it'll be nice. Give me a faction spawn with one of those fancy new implants. That could be cool. Blappening. Very, very good. Blappening part 2. Zzz. Time for us to become blinded. Google Docs has dark mode on Android but not desktop. Oh wow. I mean, understand separate development teams, but like, yeah. Yeah. Hey ho. Okay, loot from this one, nil. Next one. Good thing we got 3 in one system.
Active.
Warp drive, engage. I really hope... There's 18 minutes left on today's schedule. I swear. Are we actually going to go a full 3-hour stream where I haven't stopped warping or shooting? Genuinely. I have kept on going. Are we really going to go the full 3 hours without a single Corpi module? A Corelli module even. Am I really this unlucky? I'm going to walk away from 3 hours with none? 1 hour I could understand. 1 hour is just 1 hour. But 3? Granted, I've turned down 2 escalations, but they both went to low sec. One of them from a 0.8 system. Am I really this unlucky today? Is there something I forgot to do? Did I... Okay, there was an errand I forgot to run today. There is my penance. There we are then. So focused on getting the next video done. I did not run that errand. Okay, that's a fixable. I can do that tomorrow.
Drive active.
And like I said, I hope they find a way to add challenge to non-instance PvE, because doing tier 3 abyssals meant for cruisers and a worm was some of the most funny add in PvE. I mean, they created it for burner missions, but I don't think they quite understood what they were doing with the burner missions. They instead created something that required you to, in one ship, just so over-specialize and over-commit. It was kind of stupid. It wasn't like PvP, as they advertised it. The burner missions were just obnoxious in every way possible. But realistically, I think the whole time limit on the Abyssal Dungeon, time limit destroy your ship, and no exit otherwise, I think they've written themselves into a corner with that one, because imagine if someone could just enter into your Abyssal Dungeon. If they could find the gate, they could just enter in, and they could join you in there. It's not like that would increase the loot, so it's not cheesable for those looking to run it for gains. And if you're bringing in more people, sure, you make it easier to an extent. Hell, they could have it where the loot cans are locked until the enemies are destroyed, and the loot inside them is dynamic, so that if there's too many enemies, it actually self-destruct. Sorry, too many players, it might lower the loot if they can or something to that effect. I don't know. I'll be honest, just the way they set it up writes them into a bit of a corner because they can't just allow players to go into these dungeons to try and chase down others and attack them. One, what security status do they make of the areas? Are they meant to be relegated to these are now functionally null-sec at all-time items? And two, if you, the pirate, go in to kill someone inside of it, okay, but now how do you get out? I mean, maybe that could be the trade-off. Like, if you are going to attack someone running an abyssal, you need to be in a ship or fleet capable of surviving the abyssals yourself to get out of there. So if someone's running it in high sec and you still don't have the skill to take on the system, take on the dead space and the person you're killing, well then, get good at suicide ganking. But that would make it, for a lot of people, just dead content. Yeah, don't take it. Exactly, that kind of thing can exist. That kind of filament interaction could definitely be a problem. They could even make it where entering the filament, entering the dead space without using the filament yourself, so you just go through the remnant, applies a greater effect on the attacking ship, or applies an additional random effect. So it adds to the complexity, it adds to the concern, adds to the, you probably want a fleet for this. If you want to try and ruin this person's day, you better come equipped. They could even make it an honor system, where the NPCs inside will prioritize targeting whoever comes through afterwards, although that could be cheesed. That could be cheesed, because you could then make it where you know who's going to be the tank ship. Yeah, no, that would unbalance it. Not that, then. But still, putting in random additional penalties or modifiers on the ship that go through any way other than the filament, that could have an interesting counter effect. Yeah, and take it. I actually did that whilst streaming to a few people in the VIP lounge on Discord not long ago. I took a filament jump and I ended up literally in Goon Swarm's headquarters system. I couldn't have ended up anywhere worse. There were so many people in local channel. It was honestly like I was in the Dodixie or Amar Trade Hub. There was just so many people. Except I was in nullsec, literally poking the hive. I was just there to do a little bit of exploration. I just had to bounce around. I wasn't set up with a cloaky ship. I just had to continuously bounce around until the timer ran out, and then I could just filament out again. Which is, in a sense, stupid. I get that. I get the complaints of people going, oh, you could just filament escape, it's so unfair. They couldn't catch me in 15 minutes. I understand the complaints on that side. It doesn't feel like they have control over their space in that regard. I guess the only real counter to that would be to say, well, unless someone's already bookmarked the hell out of your system, start bubbling places. Force them out of warp if they're trying to make safes. So that's a hell of a lot of investment. The other counter argument, I suppose, is, if it's a person that's just bouncing safes and otherwise leaves in 15 minutes, were they even something worth chasing? Which is a valid question. That one's a valid one. Use filaments to bounce around null space looking for unlooted exploration sites. Yeah, that's just scanning 101 for nullsec stuff. You filament in with a noise filament, see what sites you find, and then filament out to Pochman. You've already got a scanner, so you can just find a wormhole out, or you can use a proximity if you wait 15 minutes. Job done. I've done that. I've also found nullsec to be, frankly, a bit boring to travel through and search. Because there's a lot of people doing it, for starters. I prefer wormhole scanning if I'm going to do that. There's a lot more wasted scans and wasted sites, but there's a lot fewer wasted systems, excuse me, and a lot less lazy gate camps that just happen to catch you. You're like, well, if only I could multi-box a scout. At which point it kind of becomes ridiculous. If you got a multi-box, you might as well do something else. I do at times wonder what Eve would look like if multi-boxing wasn't allowed. I will be quite honest, and I know I'm not advocating that that should be removed from the game. Oh, hello. That's unexpected. Well, not really unexpected, but yeah. There we go. I'm not advocating for the removal of multi-boxing. I do know that Eve will be a very, very, very different experience. People just do it anyways. They wouldn't be able to be as brazen about it, and it would be a serious risk, especially to highly invested accounts. Like, imagine a capital account getting caught multi-boxing. That would be a big loss. All those skill points, all those assets. That would be a big, big loss. So you say people would just do it anyways, but a lot of the multi-boxing in the game that's so blatant wouldn't be able to happen. Just wouldn't. So there'd only be very minimal amounts of multi-boxing. But, yeah, well, that's a separate thing itself and taken. The whole point of the hypothetical, I need you to understand this rather than making comments about reality and what is that I'm saying about, I'm not saying advocate remove it, I'm saying what would Eve look like. You do need to understand the difference, because otherwise you just talking the most obvious, unhelpful addition there. Come on. We know that CTP won't remove alt accounts because it brings them in a lot of sub money. That's obvious. My point is, talking as a general discussion piece, what would the game look like? Especially on the things like sinusoidal fields. The trust involved in those. The whole handling of scouting of systems. The intel channels would be nowhere near as robust. Nowhere near. Fleet commanders that have gotten themselves so used to running a fleet on one character and having a scout arranging pings or setting things up with another one. Completely non-existent. Mining wouldn't have these giant fleets of multi-box controls. Probably a lot less capital pilots. Probably a lot cheaper capitals. Because of the sheer risk of them. Alternative jump mechanics where they could blind jump to a system, locking onto the star rather than having to lock onto a beacon, but ending up in a random place, possibly with some additional negatives applied to the ship for doing a blind jump. Those kind of things might exist. The deployment of beacons could potentially be cheaper. Like those temporary beacons. All kinds of different things that could exist. An entirely different landscape. And certainly, there wouldn't be so many activities that are technically soloable, but a complete waste of time due to the fact that you can multi-box them. Because if multi-boxing wasn't allowed, then anything that has a remotely low intensity or AFK-able aspect to it wouldn't instantly become swarmed. Such as like how mining is. Suicide ganking would have to require groups of people, rather than a smaller number of people with multiple accounts all acting as one. Things to that effect. Remember when I used to call capitals coffin ships? Yeah, super caps it was. Because you could still dock capitals, but it was super caps you couldn't dock. So your super carriers and your titans, they could only be protected by sitting them in a in the force field of a starbase, which means that the character could never leave them without risking someone else just nicking off with it. Which is a very, very stupid design on reflection. Very stupid. The very idea that a character could no longer do anything other than be in a super carrier or titan Because if they got out, someone would probably steal the ship. Like, what the hell? What the hell? Even the old clone cost made more sense than that. And those were stupid too. Hey, here's a PvP game. Let's make it where if someone wants to engage in PvP, they have to pay an exorbitant price. Oh, what's that? All these long-term players are not touching the smaller stuff? Why have we gated them out of an entire bracket of content? Glad they came to their senses on that one as well. Remember seeing someone with, hey, escalation! Where's it going? Not null seg, nearly null seg, 0.1. Fuck that. Not even going to look at that any further. 3 out of 4 escalations have gone to low sec. Twice that's from a 0.8 system. My god. It's not supposed to prefer low sec. It's just supposed to pick a system within a few jumps that is lower security rating. So from 0.8 down to 0.7, 6 or 5, not prefer 4, 3, 2 and 1. Come on. There's no way we're going to get another one in time now. God damn. I might as well actually just turn around at this point and just head straight to a trade hub. Okay, there's 2 more sites in here. We'll do the 2 sites in here, then it's trade hub time. If these escalate, we'll run the escalation, but that's it otherwise. Yeah, keep stars have had a wild effect. Part of that isn't because of being able to dock capitals, but because of just how much they do and how tough it is to remove them. I mean, previously there were just the straight up immortal player-owned stations, which could be stolen rather than blown up. But still, there is a lot of consideration there, yeah. Sorry, this is an English-only channel. I'm going to need you to repost your message translated, please. We can't moderate outside of English. I'm simply not smart enough to know other languages. Raiding on Eavestream? No, we don't do raids on Variety Friday. Simply because I don't know enough about the other creators we're raiding into to ensure it'll be a quality raid. We've had far too many dud raids, and I don't want to throw you guys into that. Simply that. Alright, let's warp over to our next location. This one was a dud. Last chance for it to give us not a dud. Last chance. Okay, it spawned another site. Now I'm just being taunted by the game. Now I'm genuinely being taunted. Fine. We'll run these 2 remaining sites. There were 2. We completed 1. There are 2 remaining. Come on. Give us an escalation that's actually worth my time, please. Absolutely not going to low sec on a live stream with this ship. That's just 2 things you don't do. Not on live stream, not with this ship. Big old bright explosions. Always a good bit. Cross our fingers, this could be the one. Nothing. Alright. Last site. Last site. Oh yeah, the keep star in perimeter was that was certainly a thing. Keep stars in high sec and the sheer impact of how that could send funds around was kind of crazy. I get that theoretically the keep star could be taken down, but high sec war deck mechanics put one hell of a pin in that. Not to mention the difficulty of actually shooting at something in high sec like that. Something of that scale is pretty protected. Just by no capitals for starters. No bubbles. Medieval Fox, cheers. Yeah, I don't think CCP really looked ahead as to the implications of keep star markets in high sec. I don't think they really followed that one through. Or maybe they they just didn't care. Maybe. The money from it was split between all major factions could even challenge it. Oh yeah, Blue Donut. I think that's one thing that CCP do struggle with, is acknowledging that players will tend towards figuring out that cooperation is more profitable than obliteration. It just is. If you've got two sides that could fight over resources or just divide the resources, dividing gives them more resources. Because they're not spending time fighting, they're spending time gathering. And so long as there is enough other stuff to shoot, or maybe a few orchestrated fights to keep their members entertained, they continue to solidify their hold on those resources. Blue Donuts are almost a consequence. And I don't know if they've ever really figured a way to deal with that throughout time. Because it's a very, very difficult thing to figure out. I'll give them that. Wow, are we ready yet? Only 4 out, okay.
Warp drive active.
Yeah, everything from the Technetium cartel, OTEC, my god, that was a thing. General Blue Donuts happening in nullsec, just in general. I remember at one point being part of a nullsec group. I was like, hey, these seem like a cool group from what they say. Let's join up with them. Seem like decent people. So, where are the fights we can get? Oh, you're not allowed to attack this region, that region, this region, that region, that region, this region, this region, that region, or that region. I looked at the map. And unless I found a wormhole, I was something like 30 jumps away from a nullsec system I was allowed to attack in that group. 30. It was so blue that hostiles moving through the space, this was pre-filament, hostiles moving through the space was so damn rare you could just watch an intel channel for the entire region. Ow. I'd heard of how blue things were, and then to just experience it firsthand, like, oh, okay. So there's just no travel to be had then, alright. That's a wild one. And again, I'm not sure what could be done to properly manage that. Theoretically, you could have it where lots of small groups could try and pick and prod at the different systems around to try and force a group to only take as much space as they can reasonably defend. But when you take into account time zone tanking, and when you take into account the cost-reward balance for those both attacking and defending, on that, I do not envy what CCP have cut out for them. From day one Eve right the way through to today and the future, I do not envy what they'd have to try and figure out with that. Not at all any envy on that. Don't know if anyone's ever liked soft mechanics. Ultimately, it comes down to the same thing as real-world SOV. You've got two problems. One, you've got to actually take the land from others, which is its whole ordeal in itself, and the others are not going to make that easy. They're going to make it as unfun as possible. They don't want you to take it. Problem two is once you've taken it, what do you do with it? Congrats, you are now the proud owner of XYZ location. And this other list of locations, they are under your control. Excellent, you've done all this work, what for? Now what? You need farmers, you need infrastructure, you need all that lot set up. And you're now going to have other people looking at it and going, ooh, I could have that, couldn't I? And what should be a cycle becomes a threat of drudgery. Well, the biggest problem is making things real is that they become real. Kind of obvious when said like that, when reduced to its absolute basics. Almost to absurdity, but the point is definitely there. When trying to balance a very real and realised system of ownership and conflict and control with it's still just a video game. Just take land nobody have ever won, like the Drowlands. Do people do that? Do people just take the land that no one wants? Last I heard, that was all sold out to renters and botting. And just putting it out there, botting wouldn't be such a problem if multi-boxing wasn't a thing and AFK gameplay wasn't so created, if mining wasn't constructed to be as anti-gameplay as possible. Yeah. But hey, at that point, it's probably going to end up being a different game. Yeah, and taken. And that's in part the problem with it. It's like, why have a whole region of space that is just so bad? Fabricanen saying, bro, you make good tutorials, but why do you gotta roleplay being some engineer you playing Warframe? What do you mean roleplay being an engineer? I'm genuinely confused as to what you think you mean by I'm role-playing being an engineer. Did you really just come to this stream just to be like, why does your name have engineer in it? That's weird. Is that why you're here? I say all the corny shit in the intros. I say, I'm the Kengineer, let's solve a practical problem. I have a tagline. A tagline which a lot of people actually enjoy hearing and can't wait to hear in every video, where if I didn't include it, people actually got pissed I removed it. A tagline which is a reference to another game. Oh, that's role-playing to you. I see, I see. I understand the confusion now. Yeah, I got it. See, I was working from a dictionary where roleplay meant one thing, but evidently you were running on an entirely different concept where roleplaying meant someone saying their name. Yeah. Fair enough. Okay. So, taking the definition of saying my name is role-playing, why do I... Let's retranslate this. Bro, you make good tutorials, but why do you say your name when you're playing Warframe? Brand awareness. Yep. I hope this cleared that up for you. It's brand awareness. If you'd like, I can go into further detail, but I really can't be bothered, so I won't. But it's brand awareness. Anyway then, that is where we're going to wrap it up today. We are docked up in a trade hub with a whole lot of bupkis. My god, this was absolutely terrible luck. How much have I brought back? I don't think I've brought back nearly any... Yeah, I think I've brought back about enough to pay for the ammo. I brought back just enough to pay for the ammo. Yeah. But hey, whoever this person is would like me to go into more detail as to what a tagline is in business. Like, why can't you just start on this tutorial? Yeah. Hey, Febron. Just out of curiosity, who are you? I've never heard of you before. This is the first time you've arrived here, and if you reply with anything describing yourself, you've done exactly the same thing that I've done in my videos, so congratulations. You can't even answer that question, which means you're not allowed to exist. It's alright. Not allowed. If it hurts you so much, you just press skip ahead 5 seconds. You're just asking? Yeah. Anyway, I'm done with this little foray. It was fun bouncing off you, seeing if there's going to be anything interesting. Evidently, you're just a troll, so I'm going to get rid of you now. Been fun. Take care. Have a good weekend. And to everyone else, thank you very much for joining in on the stream today. I hope you've enjoyed being blinded by all the explosions. Have yourself a wonderful weekend. I will be back on Sunday with some more good old Warframe. In the meantime, be your absolute best selves. That goes to you whether you are banned or not. I'll see you in the next one, if you aren't banned. Until then, ta-ra.